We live?
We are live. Oh, it's a long build-up. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name's the Chun. It's time to have some fun with Host Pro 2.0. It's the return of the podcast, the live session where I talk with somebody else, hopefully, provided I can get a guest this week, which I can for this week, where we talk about music, wrestling, cars, movies, games, mostly games because it's Host Pro, which is meant to be a gaming podcast because it's like having an extra perk if you're the host in Call of Duty. That's where the name came from. And it's back after, I'm going to say, how many months now? Must be 9? Yeah, because the last time we did one of these, it's before we went to Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, and we're 2 months away from going to the next Monday Night Raw, so that'll be cool in London. So, yes, it's back. And I should explain why it's back, briefly. It's not the other day, it's been quite a while since it finished. I was doing the Metal Gear Solid live stream. I was fighting a Hind D, and then somebody thought, this is the perfect opportunity to ask me, would I be doing another Host Pro? And at that point, I didn't have a webcam, and time was a big issue. But I now have a webcam again, as you can see, and with enough commitment, you can make time for anything. So Host Pro is back, and it's called 2.0 because it's new, it's improved. And today, to bring it back, to relaunch the podcast, there's only one way you can do that. Just one way. And that is with the all-time greatest guest from the original shitter version. Because this is the better version, so you need the best guest. It's Marcus.
Yes, it's me. I am back for the new and improved Host Pro version 2.0, featuring Smudge as well. And you were saying with your with time constraints and things like that, we also have obviously been pursuing other activities. If you don't know what those are, click onto Glenn's YouTube channel and you will find out. It's called UPW, and it is fucking amazing. Smudge is biting me. I have absolutely no idea why.
He is actually.
Off you go. Go on, Smudge. I think he got a bit too excited in the hype. But yes, we have been pursuing other activities, which involves basically me and Glenn throwing each other around in my living room. So there's a reason. There's a reason it's called UPW. But recently we have been watching some professional stuff from wrestling in England, where they have an actual ring and everything. Mm-hmm. And by God, it is absolutely 100% the most biggest pile of wank I have ever fucking seen. And I watch porn regularly.
Yeah, the thing with that is, like, if we're UPW, we are unprofessional wrestling. That's our thing. However, this promotion should really call itself GAW, which stands for God Awful Wrestling. That's what it should be. God, what's his name? Michael O'Shaughnessy.
Michael O'Shaughnessy, yeah, and
what the fuck is he playing at in that match?
He is what we would call here in Cornwall, our hometown. He is some bloody boy, unbelievably some bloody boy. If you get a chance to watch UPW, you need to understand we do this in my living room with a bedroom mattress and a few cushions for padding. These guys have a 6-sided ring in venues, live events, and these guys, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it, they couldn't lace our fucking boots. There is no way in hell they hold a candle to us. We've seen the quality of the matches. This isn't a shoot, this isn't demoting the company in any way, it's just this guy. This guy walks around and he thinks he's some kind of big-time wrestler and everything. Dude, you're about 5'10", you weigh about 11 stone, you're pale as fuck, you've got acne. If you want to get in a real wrestling match, fucking wrestle me, and wrestle him as well.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. When I saw that match, I was just stunned, to be honest. I was just like, wow, really? And then, of course, he told me why he found out about this particular, let's say, piece of shit. And yeah, I got all excited about actually going up there, doing a triple threat. We both turn on him, beat the fuck out of him. Because
they can't really go into details about it because it's kind of private, but
yeah, we shouldn't really.
Yeah,
but, there is a very trust me, if anybody deserves to be on the receiving end of two people working stiff, this guy, he's really, really high up on that list.
Absolutely. So watch this space for future details and things that are coming up. So yeah, keep an eye on this space and keep an eye on the channel. Anyway, going back to topic, UPW 2.0. It's new, it's fresh. What have you got for us today?
Well, got a couple of topics. Cool topics, too. Now that we've addressed why we're back. I've got the Royal Rumble talk, which is going to be... We did a short 6-minute video. We've now got no sort of time constraints, so we can go into a little bit more detail about just how bad that was. And I'm also thinking a slight talk about the game that I'm most looking forward to, and considering the videos I'm uploading onto my YouTube channel right now, very, very relevant. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Yes, 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 yes.
I know.
Yes.
I want to talk about Phantom Pain. I haven't had a chance to do so. And also, we have the HPAs, which stands for the Host Pro Awards for 2014. It is the most prestigious award ceremony where the nominees couldn't give a shit if they won or not. Because there are no awards, there is no fame, there is no glory in winning an HPA. There's literally just a pat on the back from me saying, thank you made me happy this year.
It's, yeah, these awards are basically, if I had to attribute it to anything, and I'm preparing my headphones because I think you're probably going to wet yourself at this, but the only way I can compare the Host Pro Awards in terms of prestigiousness and what it actually means is probably in the same way that Anne Widdecombe needs to buy a rape alarm. Completely unnecessary.
That is... I don't think you could possibly ever want to rape Anne Widdecombe.
Well,
I know where you're coming from with that one. That's good.
Yes, so the Host Pro Awards, as we say, they're completely irrelevant, but they are basically just a little bit of fun, just to give you guys an idea of what we think should win an award of some kind for some reason, which we will discuss later on. However, going back to the host, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, perhaps it's worth mentioning to the audience, we've also got a Q&A app open, so if you're watching this on the Google Plus page, then you can post questions there. I haven't got access to the stream on YouTube though. I'm live on it to see if I was live, but that means clicking off the page and not seeing the questions. I might go back and check the stream occasionally just to see if there's any comments there. Let's see if I can do it now. I'll do. Why not? Let's do it now. HPAs and 2.0. Well, okay, that's not what I thought it was going to be, and I've worked out why it's not what I thought it was going to be. That's because that is the stream that we did to test to see if it works. So,
Host Pro 2.0, professionalism at its finest.
yeah, that's now in completed events. So what I need to do is add a section onto my YouTube page. Live now. That's what I need. Live now.
Would like to say, if anybody does have any questions, we would welcome them. We will answer them live on air. If you do have any other questions at all, go onto Glenn's channel, email him, inbox him, comment on the video. We will answer questions. If there's one thing we like to do, it's to give back to the fans.
Yeah, we do. And you can see that in action actually on UPW. Right, I've now got the correct stream open, so I can now switch back to that to see comments from that. Yeah, no, we do actually. So we did the UPW requests show, which I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that was an unqualified success because for those who aren't aware, we have Music Gold 2008 and Rictus 0212 watched a couple of the UPW videos, and they requested between the two of them a squash match, taunt, a pedigree, powerbomb, the tombstone pile driver, and a normal pile driver. We didn't do the normal pile driver because it's, I think, largely considered in professional circles as the single most dangerous move in professional wrestling. So we didn't do that one. But everything else we did, which is something we've never done before. We've never done power bombs, pedigrees. We've never actually done well, we have done a match, but it was a miserable failure because we both poked each other in the eye and rolled on the floor crying.
Yeah, that was a pain.
And then that episode never got aired.
Probably for the best of mankind that it didn't get aired, to be honest.
Yeah, in fairness, that is true. And then we did the tombstones and the power bombs, and we got it all done to a pretty good standard for the first time ever. And I quite like that episode, actually. I think it's probably one of the best ones.
It is good because it's nice to actually see people are watching, they're getting involved, they're getting interactive, and we have always said since probably maybe video 3 or 4, it's like if you guys do have any requests, provided we have enough space to do them because we're kind of constricted with heights and stuff like that. But if you do have any requests, please do send them in. We are willing to try pretty much any move that you can. And as for the pile driver, we are working on it. It's a work in progress. You might see it very, very soon. But no promises. I can't promise anything. But we love to give back to the fans. If you guys enjoy the product and you want to see us do stuff that you request, send them in. Get them into Glenn's email. Get them into my YouTube channel and my email. We will do them for you. We are happy to take requests. We're all about giving back to the fans.
Yeah, and I will. I'll link everybody to your channel at the end, so you can subscribe to Marcus as well, because his content he's got some very good content, which is the type of thing that I wouldn't attempt to do because I'd be shit at it. Like your death shake, that was funny. I like your death shake, and yeah, I think actually because that's the thing. I said I should do that. So I like to say we give back to the fans, and I must admit that's a thing I've been lacking in doing recently on my own personal channel, because about 2 or 3 years ago I made a video called a thank you and a shock, because somebody called Lady Gaga was subscribed to me and I had 34 subs, and I said this is more than I could ever had hoped I would have achieved at that time. And now I have 615 subscribers, and I haven't said thank you at all. So I'd like to say thank you to every single one of my subscribers. And the cool thing about having that number of subscribers is you've got a lot of people there. It's more than enough to fill out my old school hall, which I used to think was huge. So I could fill that out with all of my subscribers in that building. And yet it's not so many subscribers that you run a massive risk of getting lost in the shuffle. If you leave a comment on my video, it's one of the highlights of my day. It's like one of maybe 3 comments I'll get a day. And most of those comments are responses to other comments I've made. So if you guys comment or ask me questions, then it's almost a guarantee that I will see it. And coming up sometime soon, I'm going to have to find time to film and edit it. I'm going to try and I'm going to try not to sink, but probably unsuccessfully not sink a cruise liner, because somebody responded to me sinking a ship in Padstow and said, this is cool, now sink a cruise liner. So I will be trying to sail a cruise liner somewhere in the world, and I think my plan is not to deliberately sink it, because that would just be too easy. You just straight ahead into a wall, no difficulty. My plan is try and do what I normally do on Train Simulator. Try and do it properly, but fail, because that's what I'm good at. So yeah, I'd like to think that we give back to the fans, and 615, just wow, really. That is just special to me, actually, and I do very much appreciate it.
Is that the most amount of subscribers you've ever had, or?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, yeah.
That is. So essentially, you guys are basically breaking barriers for Glenn's channel. So please do keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep messaging, everything. It's all about interaction. Glenn does give a lot back to his fans, and I would like to say I do the same, but I don't really have any fans, as the Wildstone Raider would say. I've got no fans. I've got no ground. But if you guys do want to message me and you want to get hold of me and interact with me, check out my channel. Glenn will post some links. There's some pretty cool stuff on there if you want to have a look at it. Please go ahead. A lot of stuff with me on there failing. There's some random stuff. There's some little skits that I like to do. But the main point is keep subscribing to Glenn's channel. He will always give back to the fans. And if it involves me in any way at all, obviously I will do exactly the same for you guys. So thank you very much for everything that you've done.
Yeah,
I love you guys. I love you.
That is the cool. That's the cool thing as well, because I can say, hey, look, this this channel that if I see a channel with a smaller number of subs, I can say, hey guys, this channel's actually pretty cool too. So if you like what I do, then I can almost guarantee you'll like this. And that's a cool place to be. But right now, I think it's time to get into the meat, the potatoes of this episode. So let's start with the Rumble.
Oh,
Let's start with the Rumble. Because the problem is, a lot of people say 100% negative. Yeah, mostly negative. Mostly completely most terrible piece of abomination I've ever seen in terms of booking in WWE history. And yet, when you think about the Rumble, and you think about the whole pay-per-view, just the whole thing, not just the match, not just the Rumble match, there were more positive pieces of booking than there were negative in my mind. However, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view is all about the Royal Rumble match. And even in the Royal Rumble match, there were some pretty good moments, I think. However, there were there were a couple of extremely poor moments in that, which completely overshadowed anything good about that whole pay-per-view. Should we talk about any stuff that I liked? Because there are a couple of things I liked. The Divas match was actually a pretty solid Divas match. I think the general quality of the Divas wrestling is going up, and I really think and it's starting to show. I think the WWE is starting to allow them 5-minute matches instead of 1-minute matches on TV, and that's good. I love to see the Divas wrestle, and it's good for variety on the show. So good. You need to keep promoting those girls, and plus with the girls in NXT, and if you can get more TV time, you can utilize more divas. And a couple of those divas, like Emma, if they just let Emma wrestle the way she does in NXT, they're gonna have they could have somebody who could be a new Trish Stratus. Even Summer Rae's quite a good wrestler if she's allowed to wrestle. So yeah, that's a positive. And then you've got, I did like the Ascension versus the New Age Outlaws, because the Ascension went over, and I think it's essential for the Ascension to go over, because they're getting a lot of shtick at the moment for mocking past tag teams, but I think the Ascension I think they were a slow burner, if I remember correctly, in NXT. They weren't huge immediately, but eventually they did get massively over as heels, and I think maybe it will be the same with the main wider WWE audience. Maybe there'll be a slow burner, and now that they've started to actually like the match, that's a good thing, I think. And then of course we had that triple threat match.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
I should explain, like, with the Rumble as well, it's because basically you came to my house. We sat down and this is the first pay-per-view that we watched live this year. Hopefully we're going to get a chance to watch more. I mean, Mania, I think, is definitely on the cards. I mean, that's going to have to be a night where I get you and a few of my other friends around. We're going to try and film it and upload it and everything so you guys can see basically a little insight into our crazy minds. But that triple threat match was knock it out of the park stuff. That was brilliant. I mean, with Brock when he got hurt, and we both just sat there like, oh God, is he really hurt? He's not moving. He hasn't got up yet. And it's like, wasn't he supposed to be back in the ring by now? And then Cena and Rollins and everything that they were doing, it was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, 5-star performances from every single guy in that match. Yeah, and I think that match was so much better off for having Seth Rollins in it. And that's the thing I've noticed as well recently. Seth Rollins is starting to look like a guy who can actually legitimately carry a main event, mainly because his performance is stunning. He is got to be one of the best in-ring performers they have at the moment. Could be, and this is extremely high praise, I do not heap out lightly, could be the new Shawn Michaels for this generation, because he is phenomenal. And Brock actually legitimately was hurt, apparently. He actually did have a broken rib. We did see that as soon as he landed that elbow, and then we were like, oh yeah, he'll get up. Wait a minute, he hasn't got up yet. And it's like he hasn't moved. He hasn't moved in about 10 minutes. It's just Cena and Rollins at the minute. Why isn't he getting up? And then just at the end, just to do the big hero finish and everything like that, he came in, threw Seth Rollins around, threw Cena around, got the pin 1, 2, 3, and he kind of hobbled out of the arena. So full props to Brock Lesnar for that match, because that guy took a beating in that match, which you don't often see. People beating Brock Lesnar. You don't see it very often.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite and as well, if you didn't see the doctors out there tending to Brock Lesnar, you would think it was just a sell, because credit to Cena and Rollins, I imagine Brock Lesnar was supposed to be back in that match a lot sooner than he was, and those two did an excellent job of filler. And actually, those two had a hell of a good match by themselves whilst Brock was out injured. So you never know. A Cena versus Rollins match is actually something I might be intrigued to watch, which isn't something I normally say about a Cena versus somebody else in a singles match. It's not something I normally say, but yeah.
Again, that's full credit to Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins is the wild card, and now they're giving him a chance to shine and show you actually see how much of a good wrestler he is. And I can't disagree with you when you say he could be the next Shawn Michaels. Because the stuff that this guy has done already, I mean, he's been an active singles wrestler for, not even a year when he betrayed the Shield? Because it wasn't long after.
Not in the main roster he hasn't. Yeah, obviously he was in his indie days, but yeah.
But as an actual star, he's been there less than a year, and he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He's done so much stuff in such a short time. He is definitely one to watch out for in the future.
Yeah, and I think giving him that chance as well has really opened people's eyes. I have a feeling that if they turn Seth face again, not do it yet, obviously, it's too early yet, but maybe down the line, if you were to turn him face, oh hell, maybe if you had Roman, my brain's firing, if you were to have Roman Reigns, after what happened in the Rumble, go and start portraying a heel, and then you had Seth Rollins cash in and turn Rollins face then, boy, that wouldn't be red hot, that would be white hot. That would be blast furnace levels of heat.
It really would, because essentially every single Money in the Bank cash-in has always been, they've always popped for the Money in the Bank cash-in. It doesn't matter who it was that was cashing it. I mean, Jack Swagger. They popped for Jack Swagger.
He did, actually.
No offense to Jack Swagger. I think he's a great wrestler and everything, and he's not being used the way he should be. He should be given a lot more sort of slack on the line, basically. But they always pop, and like you said, if they were to turn him face, like the pop that he would get just for cashing in would be amazing, and then I think the reaction he would get the next night when he comes out would be absolutely huge, and he would be like one of the most over guys in that company.
I believe so. Check the stream minute for any comments. Nope.
Oh, how disappointing!
How disappointing! I should yeah. And then, of course, we went from that triple threat, which was an amazing high, and I think you and me both were absolutely loving the pay-per-view at that point. We were thinking, for a first live pay-per-view on the network, this has gone swimmingly, exactly as we'd hoped. And then the actual Rumble started, which is good. It started okay. I'll point that out. The first two competitors were a bit, it's all right, and then not the third entrant.
Oh my god!
Bray. I was like, we were both just like, what?
We were marking out so bad when that happened. I was like, Bubba Ray fucking Dudley? And then he comes in and he cleans the house, and fucking the crowd were going nuts, and we were like, wow, this is going to be a fucking awesome Rumble.
Yeah, it was like such a strong start, because I was just like going, oh yeah, shit, because his TNA contract's up. His TNA contract's up, and so is Devon. And then it's like, yeah, marking out. And then it went from strength to strength, because all of a sudden, out comes Bray Wyatt, full proper entrance. I was like, ooh. And then he came and cleaned house. Bray Wyatt absolutely cleaned house. There was a bit of an off moment with the Rumble when Harper and Rowan came out, and they looked like they were about to team up on Wyatt. Then Wyatt started smiling at them as if they're all going to reunite. Then Rowan went to attack Wyatt, and then Harper suddenly attacked Rowan again, and that ended with Bray Wyatt. It was a bit of a confusing moment in the Rumble. I wasn't really sure what they were going for there. But in the end, Bray Wyatt threw them both out and then went on a dominant run for a while. And the fans were into Bray Wyatt. They were singing "The Whole World in His Hands." First time that's happened in quite some time. In fact, since his return, I believe, which prompted Bray to grab the mic and impromptu sing it with them. So that's the thing with Bray Wyatt. That's what I like about Bray Wyatt as well. If you watch his stuff and his promos, when he's live in the ring doing his promos, like he did in Raw, like he did at our show at Raw, he's very good at gauging where the fans are at, and he's very good at improvising his reactions to the fans, I think. And the Rumble match proved it. WrestleMania 30 proved it, and our Raw proved it as well, of course, because he started off his Raw promo with us singing the song, and the fans were singing along well into Bray Wyatt at that promo, and then he went and said, "We're sharing something real. I want you to sing," and then he got us all to go louder, and he was very, very impressive, I think. And then to see this again at the Rumble, I was like, yes, this may be the start of a return for Bray Wyatt, maybe the start of a push.
And then I mean, at that moment as well, I thought, okay, this is going to be a good Rumble because this is going really well. And then Sin Cara came out next, and then the return of Zack Ryder, the Zack Pack.
Yes.
Yeah. That went down like a box of fucking hammers. No offense, Zack. But...
I mean, it was his first TV appearance in like 2 years or something, and then they had Bray freak out the Boogeyman with the spider walk. I thought that was quite fun. That was a funny moment. Yeah, I like that.
Very good to see Boogie back in the ring. He hasn't aged a bit at all. He still looks great. But being freaked out by Bray, that was a good move, and then he's straight over the top rope. And then who was next?
I can't remember. I think it was a couple more like squash people. And then the next notable moment was at number 10. The yes movement, and we both just go, "Oh, business just picked up. This is where business. Yeah, literally, this is where business picks up. This is where this plot thickens, and we start to get into the business end of this thing." And then those two, and it was going fine. Up to this point, it was going legitimately brilliantly, I think. I was like, okay, here we go. The crowd are hot. They had DDP. DDP made his return after that point as well.
DDP
came out. Yeah, he came out hitting a load of diamond cutters, and with the beautiful setups that he's known for as well. And the crowd popped for each and every one of those cutters.
Yeah, it was great to see DDP back. He looks absolutely fantastic, and he was out there and he was kicking ass. He was doing a great job of it. And then it kind of, it expanded off a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And then we had the moment where things took a very downward turn. It was Rusev's entrance, so in comes Rusev, and we're thinking, great, things are really going to pick up now. Yeah. And then what happened not long after that? Would you care to explain?
Well, Bryan went over the top rope, he hung on, and then Bray Wyatt just clotheslined him off. Which, I mean, if you're going to eliminate Bryan, couldn't have picked a better guy if you want to set up a push for somebody than Bray Wyatt, and I think Bray Wyatt deserves that push. However, where are we at? We're just over halfway through the Rumble. The biggest draw in the match has just been taken out in fairly ordinary fashion, I would say. I mean, it's not like he got super kicked, out he goes. It's not like he got turned on by anybody. It wasn't really. It wasn't like he got eliminated. It took a lot to eliminate him. Just a clothesline, and out he goes.
And yeah, that was the moment when it was the stunned silence, wasn't it? When we were like,
yes.
"Oh, okay." And that's when things started to go very, very south, very, very quickly.
Really, really bad. Yeah.
Yes.
Who was I can't remember who the next entrant was after that point, but I don't think I think they're still too shocked at that point to really boo. But then number 19, all the boos, all the boos. Oh geez, that was really quite painful because, I mean, the thing is, I think we all knew who's going to win the Rumble because I think the result was determined before Bryan even returned from injury. I think that was the problem. I think because Daniel Bryan returned from injury so late, literally 2 weeks before the Rumble, the result was predetermined, and I think they had to probably crowbar him in there a bit. Not that they did that very well. They could have done it a lot better. But Roman Reigns came out. I mean, it was pretty obvious he was going to be the winner this year. I think that, I mean, you look at that lineup and you're like, well, who else is going to win? Bryan was the only hope of actually upsetting that result, but he's already gone. And out comes, and then everybody just booed the crap out of Roman Reigns. And then it just got worse and worse and worse, because next into the ring, it's a new day. Yes, it is. It's like, oh, no, this is bombing bad. This is bombing real bad.
I just remember us like both sat there and we just looked and we were like, look at Big E's face. He really does not want to go out there right now. And it it just went so badly. It was
and then it was, I think it was Big Show.
Yeah, towards
came out. And
then there was a mild pop. I mean, we said at that point the only person that could have saved the Rumble actually was the return of CM Punk, which obviously would never happen. But
yeah, it would have saved it.
The next biggest pop was actually Dean Ambrose, and when we saw him come out, we were like, okay, there's hope. There's hope for this Rumble yet.
Yeah, when Dean Ambrose came out, and there was a mild. It wasn't the standard Dean Ambrose pop. Normally, I'd say he would have got a bigger pop had it not been for what happened. But yeah, he still got a half decent pop, and when he went on a tear a little bit, then again the pop died out pretty quick. I would say. And we were like, ooh, he's got a little bit of interest back, but he's not really taking it to where it needs to be, where it should be really at this point in the Rumble. We're in the business end. It needs to be bigger than that. And I think, if I'm honest, I was trying to think who else could have saved the Rumble at this point. We were both thinking Rock. CM Punk announced that would have been absolutely colossal, but obviously he's a UFC, that ain't gonna happen. And we're just like, well, who else? Sting, maybe, if he actually appeared as an entrant, that would have worked. Yes. I think that could have saved it if he was an entrant in the Rumble rather than an interference, which is what I thought he would be if he was going to be used at all. But the only guy I think who could have a surprise return, which would have saved that Rumble, Shawn Michaels. If Shawn Michaels had returned as could you imagine that if he had returned as like a special entrant, a surprise entrant? Michaels returns, that would have saved it, but obviously that didn't happen because number 26 was Titus O'Neil.
No, it was 29, wasn't it, Titus?
Actually, I think Big Show was 29.
Oh yeah, no, I think Titus was 27, I think, wasn't he? Because then we were trying to work out who the last guys were, and we were like, okay, so there's Big Show, Ziggles, and then we were like, who's the mystery guy? And it turns out to be Titus O'Neil. And I will go on record and say this: I love Titus O'Neil. He's so tragically bad, and just
It's a sympathy-like, isn't it?
It's a sympathy-like, but I really like Titus when he does the arms and the hula hula hula. I really like. I have every single support for Titus O'Neil in every single way. If that guy gets any kind of push, I will be going crazy for him. Go Titus!
Yeah.
I'm Team Titus all the way.
But obviously, Titus O'Neil came out, more boos. It's just, I was like, not even Adam Rose came out, of course, somewhere before that as well. That was huge boos, and then of course the usual Kofi Kingston extreme save was he gets knocked off and saved by the Rosebuds, and people were like, it's not as good as previous years, but it's all right.
The thing is, from the moment that Bryan got eliminated, we knew that the Rumble was basically screwed. It was just a nail in the coffin, and we were like, okay, this is over. Well, they're going back to the Shawn Michaels thing. The only other person I think that could have potentially made the Rumble match better would have been The Undertaker.
Oh, yes, that's a good point.
If he had come out, that probably would have turned the whole show around. Even if it was just like a fairly short showing, he would have actually saved it. But then number 30 comes out and it's Dolph Ziggler. I think probably that Mizdow. We forgot Mizdow.
Oh, yes, yeah, he had a pop. He actually had a huge pop, and it was a sustained pop. That's what I found interesting. It was a sustained pop. Because Dean Ambrose had it. Yeah, Dean Ambrose had a pop, but it fizzled out. Same thing with Ziggler. Actually, no, Ziggler's a separate point. I'll get onto that. But obviously, Sandow had a big pop, and it was sustained. And it was going all the way through the time he was in the ring. But then again, he got eliminated in, what was it, about a minute?
Not
And then
even
it's
that, I don't think.
booze again.
Yeah, and then obviously we get to number 30, which is the only guy I think that did get probably the biggest pop in the Rumble besides Daniel Bryan was Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
However, the finish was pretty atrocious, as in Kane and Big Show reunite again, and it's like, wow,
Yay.
that wasn't old 10 years ago, was it?
No. Yeah. It's just literally, these two, it's like, it's not even shocking anymore. It's not even a moment when these two unite or break up or turn heel or face. Fuck me, Big Show has turned on so many people now. When these two are about to turn on each other again, it's like, oh come on! It's like this has happened so many times, and this is how you're choosing to end the Rumble with these two turning on each other. Oh, dissension in the authority, great. It's like, if you're going to do that angle, do it with Seth Rollins at least. Turn him face. Don't waste it on Kane and Big Show. These two guys probably, with great respect to them both, I mean, they have been a huge part of my childhood. Kane is the wrestler who really piqued my interest in wrestling as well. But between the two of them, they've probably only really got 2 decent years remaining before it really should be, you guys should actually just retire now. And then these two, it wasn't, and they used them to bury so many of the people who received pops. Bray Wyatt, no, it wasn't Bray Wyatt first. First person gone, Ziggler. The last person, he just came in, got a couple of pops. Ziggler, almost instant KO punch from over the top rope. And in fact, Ziggler clocked in less time in the Rumble than DDP. DDP had more time in the Rumble than Dolph Ziggler, the man who pretty much carried the Survivor Series main event until Sting got there. It's like, really? It's like, really?
That's why we had such an angry reaction. We were like, this company is supposed to think about what's best for business, and we listen to our audience and stuff like that. And it's like, but this Rumble just proves that you don't. You really don't. You have your mindset, and that's the way it goes. And there's nobody that can change it. And it's like, come on, give something back to the fans. You know, you're starting to lose fans because of this. There was so many negative reactions to this Rumble. Yeah. I mean, I've watched lots and lots and lots of Rumbles. This match probably was the worst Rumble match I have seen. And I've seen pretty much all of them. You know, Hogan's match was better than that. When the third time he won it, it was old, it was stale, it was boring, but it was still better than this.
Yeah, I mean, it was just Big Show and Kane, the two old-timers, bury Ziggler, and that's that gone. And by that point, people were just booing like shit because it's Big Show and Kane that are going to be looking strong. And then they moved on to, I think it was Bray Wyatt next year, because Bray Wyatt came out, tried to attack them, was setting up Kane for Sister Abigail. I heard a minor from the fans, but that's all they could muster at that point because their interest is gone. Yeah. They're not into this at all. So Bray Wyatt tried to set up Abigail on Kane, KO punch, out goes Bray Wyatt. Another guy who was ridiculous over in the early stage of that Rumble. Gone. More boos. Out comes Dean Ambrose, tries to do the crazy thing. Again, minor pop, knockout, out he goes instantly. So between the two of them, Kane and Big Show, two old-timers who really have had their time, have just eliminated 3 of the brightest prospects in the WWE. Ziggler, who should already be in the main event, let's be honest. Bray Wyatt, who's definitely going to be in the main event, and Dean Ambrose, another guy who should be in the main event, really. It's just like they've just eliminated these 3 guys who between them have got at least... I think Ziggler's probably got the least time left on his career because he's been going longer than the other 2. Yeah. But even he's got another 10 years, and he's got potential to carry the main event because he proved it at Survivor Series. The crowd was mad. The crowd went mad when he was fighting off Harper and Rollins and Kane by himself, and then he's been buried. It's like great, and then they're gonna bury. Then they start burying Roman Reigns, or at least start, and then the crescendo of boos. I was like, the boos can't get louder. in my head. And then out came The Rock.
No, wait, that was after. Yeah, basically, I mean, we all knew, as soon as we saw those three in the ring, we thought, okay, well, we all know who's going to win. Kane and Big Show turn on each other. We've seen that so many times before. In comes Roman Reigns. Oh, double elimination. Fantastic. They both get back in the ring, start bringing the cheap heat, beating them up, double choke slam, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, out comes The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, probably the biggest star to come out of that company besides Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker. He's one of the originals, the guys that set the way for the new guys to come in. Out he comes. Massive initial reaction. As soon as he gets in the ring, boo, 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 boo. And that's when we both said, you know there is a major problem when the most over superstar that you have in history cannot get a cheer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go that far. I'd say The Rock is quite possibly, in terms of overall fame achieved by a wrestler in history, in terms of worldwide mass market appeal and overness, The Rock is the most over guy because he's so popular. He launched a movie career and has now transcended wrestling. That's how popular The Rock is. You cannot underestimate just how big The Rock is. He came out, like you say, big cheer because of the initial shock. He starts laying the smackdown on Big Show and Kane. Still cheer at this point. And then Roman Reigns comes and Superman punches, it's gone. Yep. And then Rock hits the Rock bomb, and he leaves the ring, back to boos.
Yeah, straight away. And then back comes in Rusev. We forgot about Rusev. He went under the rope. He wasn't eliminated. He comes back in. The crowd start going crazy. We want Rusev, and they're going mad. And we're thinking, it could still be saved. Bang, spear over the top rope.
Yeah, immediately. Wasted surprise return.
Yep. That was it. That was the Rumble. That was it. It's like watching a film that you've seen 1,000 times before. You know exactly what's going to happen.
And it's not like they even did it in an entertaining way either. It's like, yeah, you knew Rusev hadn't been... Well, I mean, if you're going to have somebody make a surprise comeback, at least make it something. Don't just have it... Rusev comes back in the ring. Oh, shit, yeah, we forgot about Rusev. Duck clothesline spear. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, and that's it. Although, in fairness, that was one hell of a spear.
It was a freaking amazing spear.
That was big impact. That was a hell of a spear. I don't think Rusev could have actually continued much longer after taking that spear.
But then, of course, and then the Rumble ends with Roman Reigns and The Rock in the ring, both getting booed. And you can see the look on Reigns' face. He looks miserable. You can see the look on Rock's face, and he's like, oh, fuck. And The Rock was reportedly extremely unhappy with that. He was extremely annoyed and unhappy that he'd come back. And the terrible book of the Rumble had meant that even he got booed. He wasn't expecting that. And you could see it in the promo he did in the post-show as well. He was...
Not into it at all.
No,
not into it at all. I mean, I have heard, I don't know if it's true or not, it's only a rumour, but I heard a rumour that apparently The Rock was backstage at the event just to watch. He wasn't actually supposed to come out at all. But because of the way the Rumble was going, it was so bad, they were like, okay, Dwayne, get out there, save this show. And even he couldn't do it. So well done, WWE. Fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the legacy of this year's Royal Rumble. It's just, I mean, here's how I think it could have been better. I think at this point the Rumble's been trashed enough. We already know about all this. I mean, to be fair, this part of the podcast is a formality. But now the bit I'd like to do, the meat of what I really wanted to do with Rumble Talk was 3 things that could have made that Rumble good. If keeping the end result the same, i.e., if Roman Reigns has to win, how are we going to make this good? So, number 1, even if now, I heard some people suggest that perhaps Daniel Bryan still hasn't 100% healed from his injury and he could only work a short time in that Rumble, which is credible. He's only been back 2 weeks, and he hasn't worked overly physical matches of Kane. So, And because Kane can make it look physical, but still actually protect the worker quite well, particularly if he's in with somebody like Daniel Bryan, because Kane is so strong, he can control things. So we haven't really seen Daniel Bryan truly tested yet in his return. I think the casket match did that though. So okay, let's accept the fact that Daniel Bryan can only work a short time in that match, and perhaps maybe his health isn't yet good enough to carry the main event, so we can't have Daniel Bryan win. The way you counter that, for me, step one, have Daniel Bryan enter number 30.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan enters number 30. He's there for the epic finish.
Definitely. I think number 30 would have saved it, because the crowd would have been hanging on for so long, going, "We want Bryan," and then out he comes, massive pop, everything else, clear the ring down, so you have Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Even if you got boos, it's too late then, because the show's over. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think at this point as well, I'd have, in this ideal scenario, Rusev has been eliminated by Big Show and Kane. Let's keep that little bit the same, where they bury everybody, which I don't like anyway. But those two have buried everybody, and now they're crushing Roman Reigns. Bryan comes out and says that. And together, Roman Reigns and Bryan eliminate Kane and Big Show, and then they have their two big face-off, epic finish to the Rumble. I think that would have been fine, actually. I think the reason why Roman Reigns got booed so badly, not necessarily because he won it, but just because it was obvious at that point. People just like, no, just do something to surprise us, please, God.
I'm sure at one point, when his music hit, we both looked at each other and we kind of went, okay, well, we know who's going to win then.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I think the only guy who was a contender to probably win it instead was Bryan, and he was already gone. So it's like, well, great. So obviously, Bryan coming in at number 30 would have saved the thing. My number 2 thing that I think I would have done differently in the Rumble would have been also bring Bray Wyatt out later on. Because I remember the 2009 Royal Rumble, Undertaker entered something like 19 or something like that. It was quite late, and there are about 9 or 10 people in the ring. Boom! All of them stopped dead in their tracks and just instantly looked back, including guys like Triple H, big stars, all stopped dead in their tracks by the Undertaker's gong. Now, you could have done that with Bray Wyatt as well, to really sell Bray Wyatt as somebody that people fear and respect. Have like 7 or 8 people in the Rumble at that point, so Bray Wyatt enters maybe midway through the Rumble would be fine. It doesn't need to be towards the end, because you obviously need to space things out. So Bray Wyatt, woo, and then you just see everybody illuminated by the Firefly stopped in their tracks, awaiting Wyatt, and then Wyatt clears out the ring. And that probably would have been a better way to do Wyatt's big push as well.
Yeah, and then ultimately, with that would re-spark the feud between Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, which they had a really good feud last year, or the year before, whenever it was. So yeah, it would have been treading old ground, but at least it would have been 2 people that the crowd wants to see, essentially.
Yeah. My final thing, which I would have done, is...
It's going to involve Sting somehow?
No.
Ah, okay. I'll make a point about that in a bit then. Okay, what's number 3?
Well, my final thing that I would have done is not have Kane and Big Show bury the other talent so easily, because that was the big problem, is the fact that it wasn't like it was an epic confrontation between Ziggler, Ambrose and Wyatt against Kane and Big Show. It was just a knockout punch and they're gone. It was just so quick, so decisive, so you're nothing to us, that it was bomb. Just pure bomb. So I would have had a more epic confrontation. I mean, like I say, Ziggler was less time in the Rumble than DDP. That shouldn't be happening, all due respect to DDP. So, yeah, I would have had... And I would have had guys like... I would have had Sandow in there a lot longer.
Yes.
I would have had Sandow in there longer. I would have had a confrontation with Ziggler and Ambrose going against Kane and Big Show, an uneasy alliance for a bit, to have a fight with those two. Even if they eventually lose, at least you've had an epic fight, and literally the only reason that the Authority comes out on top is because Kane and Big Show are more organised, maybe. and they can coordinate their attacks better against Ziggler and Ambrose. I think that would have worked.
And then it gives their size difference as well. Obviously, it would have been slightly more credible.
Yeah, definitely. And I think those three things, those are three simple booking changes that could have made that Rumble, that could have had the crowd on the edge of their seat towards the end of the Rumble, and then Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan having that epic confrontation at the end would have made Roman Reigns seem much more legit, I think, rather than just, oh, this is who the company wants to win. It's like, okay, this is actually somebody who, who actually deserves to win, rather than just, it was pretty pathetic now. Yeah. I think it would have been more epic. Would have been, I think there would have been disappointment anyway, because I think the fans wouldn't have accepted much of a result. Wouldn't have accepted a result other than Bryan. But at least the way, if you book the Rumble that way, you have the crowd hooked for the end of the match.
Yeah, that's like I said. I mean, once he's been eliminated by Reigns, it's too late. They can boo all they want, but that's their winner, essentially, like it or not. Instead of having Bryan eliminated not even halfway through the match. That was just the dumbest move I think they have made in a long, long time.
Yeah, having Reigns win the match and the match be good would have been better. That
would have been more credible.
People would have accepted it, I think, more.
Definitely. Okay, I'm going to have to apologise and take a quick break because I really, really do need to urinate. However, I will come back and I will explain what I think might have saved the Rumble. This is going to be an interesting twist. I will be as quick as I can. I do apologise, people that are watching, and to Glenn as well, but I will be very, very quick. Excuse me.
Cool. I'm actually looking forward to hearing
entertain them for a bit on your own.
Okay, you've got just me for a moment. I am actually looking forward to hearing what this is. I have a feeling it's got something to do with Sting, because Marcus was talking a little bit about Sting, so I'm looking forward to this. But yeah, I think the Rumble was salvageable if you made the right booking decisions, but I think at the moment, I think we can all agree, Vince McMahon is so far out of touch with reality that, and what the fans really, really want to see, that he just doesn't really know. He doesn't know what to do, and I think he's sticking with the old mentality of the bigger the guy, the bigger the draw. That's not how it works anymore. Oh, and we're back. We're back with Marcus.
Oh, my headphones were gone.
Yeah.
Okay, I do apologise for that, people. But
don't worry. My filler was absolute golden. Like I say, I am a pro at host.
Well, this is essentially your creation, so I would expect nothing less, to be honest. However, I'm going to explain what I think would have saved the Rumble. Okay, so, as you said, Daniel Bryan comes in at number 30. It comes down to Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Big Show, and Kane. Reigns and Bryan work together to eliminate Kane and the Big Show. Okay, so you've got the massive face-off between the two, one supposed face in Roman Reigns and the face, Daniel Bryan. Those two are going to do war. Kane and Big Show re-enter the ring to try and take them out, because obviously they're both anti-authority. So they start beating them up. Reigns and Bryan get over. They beat the crap out of Big Show and Kane once again. Out comes J&J Security and Triple H to come in to even the odds. Okay? So bear with me on this. They're out there, they're kicking the crap out of Reigns and Bryan, whatever. And at this point, I think this would have actually worked, is if, due to Triple H and J&J Security interference, they throw Bryan over the top, okay? But they're going to do the same with Reigns when all of a sudden the lights go down and out comes Sting.
Ooh, yes.
Think about it. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe not just Reigns and Bryan in the ring then, because obviously if you eliminate Bryan, it's too late, the match is over. But let's say, okay, they're beating the crap out of, I worded that completely wrong. They're beating the crap out of these two guys, and Triple H is like, yeah, we're going to throw both of you over at the same time, so it's a double elimination. The lights go down. Out comes Sting. Reigns and Bryan clean house, and then when Bryan dumps maybe Triple H over the rope, or Jamie Noble or whoever, Reigns comes from behind, sneak attack over the top rope. Because the crowd would be so hyped that they've seen Sting, they would be shocked that Reigns had just done that. However, I think that would have saved it because they'd be excited to see Sting.
Yes.
See where I'm going with this?
Yes, I do. Actually, yes, I think you might be right. That would have been a pretty good end to the Rumble, actually.
And it would have got so much heat for the authority. You know, Triple H comes out to screw Bryan over once again, and he's going to screw Reigns as well because Reigns is so anti-authority and he's the new face of the company. And he's out there and they're kicking the crap out of me, brings a sledgehammer, you know, all of that. And he's about to stove in their heads. The lights go down, out comes Sting. Triple H freaks out. Bryan starts eliminating people. Reigns starts eliminating people. And then all of a sudden, you know, maybe Triple H grabs Bryan or something off the rope, you know, and Reigns comes in, sneak attack over the top rope, and he's the winner. Because they would be so hyped for the appearance of Sting that it wouldn't really matter. They'd still be like, what, Sting's here? You know, and all this sort of stuff. And then they would start booing, but it'd be too late because Reigns would already be gone from the Rumble. He would have left the ring. So, you know?
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. That would have been pretty cool. Particularly if they could have pulled something out of the bag and brought the Crow music in as well. As well, that would have been, and having Descent from the Rafters. That'd be a goosebump moment because that's vintage Sting.
But the thing is, you wouldn't even need that. Just his appearance would be enough. I mean, I imagine if you and me were watching it and out comes Sting, we'd be like, "Holy fuck!" You know? Then everything would be going crazy, and then we'd be like, "Oh yeah, Reigns won. We knew that was going to happen." But how cool is it to see Sting? And then that would build the anticipation for Sting versus Triple H for Mania.
Yeah, that would be a very, very, very good way of. That would be the ultimate act of vigilantism, wouldn't it? Yeah, exactly. You're right.
See, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's the other thing that could have saved that Rumble. But anyway, like we were saying, yes, Royal Rumble, very, very, very mediocre Royal Rumble match. Pay-per-view itself, the other matches were actually not that bad, especially the triple threat. Full props to those guys. They pulled it out of the bag that night. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you something which really, really, really did make me laugh was it was on Meme Gene, and it was a Seth Rollins meme, and it goes, "See, CM Punk, that's how you do the elbow drop. You're supposed to break your opponent's ribs, not your own." It was upvoted like 60 times, which on Meme Gene is very rare.
We have to say as well, if you guys want to check out like some of our Twitter comments that we made on that night and check out the UPW reaction video, please do. It's on Twitter. It's on our Twitter and everything. It's just our tweets to guys like, you know, I tweeted to Colt Cabana saying, you know, and 1 Hour Tees, which is Colt Cabana's like sort of parent company for the T-shirts and merchandise, and I just said even a Z-Pack couldn't save that Rumble. And then there was this thing on the WWE. They said, sum up the Royal Rumble in 5 words. I said, do you want 5 words? I want my money back. And that got retweeted a hell of a lot. And Glenn put out a couple of tweets as well. We were having quite a bit of fun with that.
Yeah, I put up a meme. I was more active on Meme Gene, actually. I put up a meme with Dr. Chris Amann, the Quack Doctor, and it said, "The Royal Rumble is dying. Give it a Z-Pack," or something. Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun with that one. But
the Z-Pack thing was That was the one. Save that Rumble.
So, yes, not a very good Royal Rumble all in all, with the exception of the triple threat, and even the Divas match, like you said, and the tag matches as well, they were good.
Yes, because Adam Rose wasn't actually involved. It wasn't a 6-man tag, was it? It was just a normal tag with Cesaro and Kid versus 2 members of the New Day. I thought that was an alright match.
It was pretty good.
Quite why Adam Rose came out dressed like Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, I should say, from the NWO. I really don't know why that happened, unless if that was supposed to be. Fuck that! I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Some kind of like homage or something. I don't know, but whatever. Okay, Adam Rose, yeah, great talent.
Still his best look yet. I don't know. I was just thinking, what is this going to be? The RWO? Is that what they're going to name this faction? The RWO, the Rose World Order.
Oh yeah, the RBO, the Rosebud Order, fuck knows. Absolutely no idea where they're going with that.
It's a terrible idea. I think now as well, with the Rumble, it's gone. It happened the way it happened. And like I said, there's a comment I saw on Twitter. It was like a picture of Reigns pointing towards the WrestleMania sign, but they'd edited the message that played when people were legitimately trying to unsubscribe from the network at that point. However, there was a server problem because so many people were trying to, nobody could. I think that's the only reason the network still has 1 million subs is because nobody could unsub because they couldn't. And of course, they photoshopped that message that played in due to server issues or something. We will deal with this later. And it was literally Reigns pointing to that, and then the comment was, "Here we go. The road to losing another $100 million begins."
Yeah, so, I remember that one. That was good.
That was very good. And I'll tell you what, I did a pretty good two-part meme actually. On thinking about your Sting comment, I did a two-part meme on Meme Gene.
Yes, I saw those.
Yeah, it started with Surfer Sting. Obviously, for those who don't know, 90s gimmick Sting, early 90s gimmick Sting, saying, "No kidding, you want me to win the Rumble? I'll be right there." And then of course Sting, and then of course it flashes forward to 2014 Sting at Survivor Series picture, and it goes, "I'm here. Why are the fans booing at Roman Reigns pointing toward the WrestleMania sign?"
Why are they booing at Roman Reigns and The Rock?
Because for those of you who don't know that, it's funnier because that particular meme of Sting at Survivor Series is called Late Arrival Sting, and it's been used for a lot of very, very funny memes actually.
You guys should check out Meme Gene Oakland if you get a chance. There is some funny stuff on there if you're a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah, if you watch wrestling and understand anything from wrestling, it's the place to be. And I think that's another good point, because I think a lot of people say the IWC is full of marks, and you're damn right it's full of marks. The internet wrestling community is full of marks. It's full of people like you and me, I think, because the only people who can be bothered to actually talk about wrestling online are people like you and me, people who are like genuinely pretty hardcore, die-hard fans who've been watching it since we were like as tall as our knees are now, and been watching wrestling for so long, and we know about wrestling, and we know it's hard to really say we know more than the people who book the shows, because I think for the longest time I'd say no, but generally speaking, if people like us throw our support behind a certain wrestler, say Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins, then that generally means that talent is pretty hot shit. You know, if you were to push this guy, like for instance, the IWC were a couple of the biggest supporters of CM Punk, and then of course on that year of Punk, he outsold Cena in terms of merchandise. So if you push guys that are, let's say, IWC approved, IWC guys, you could really make a lot of money, because I think the IWC knows which wrestlers are good and which ones aren't.
Yeah, true fans, IWC fans, they know what they want to see, and those are the guys that you want to appeal to. You want to keep the product fresh, you want to keep it original, because we will keep coming back to see it if there's something new or there's a twist or a swerve, and we're like, oh cool, let's see what happens now. But now with it being so predictable and so boring, just the same thing you see over and over again, it's just kind of like, why are we even watching this now? You know?
Yeah, it does. It gets like that. But let's draw a line. We'll see what happens going forward.
Yep.
Although you've already seen a bit of it, I haven't yet. So
yes, I have seen the Raw.
I'm hearing stuff like of swerves, and I'm intrigued to see what that is. Of course, because Triple H has already teased a major announcement, and I have a feeling what you're talking about, has something to do with that, to address the controversy. And I'm thinking it's got to be something. I'm thinking it's got to be something to do with Roman Reigns winning. I have a feeling it's got something to do with that.
You are definitely on the right track. I'm not going to give anything away, but you are definitely in the right mindset with that. It's definitely something to do with that. I know what happens, which is why I kind of want you to watch it, because you're going to be like, oh. So yeah, you're going to have fun watching that. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that one. Anyway, let's go to happier topics.
Yes.
Because I think, although we had quite a long intro, we are an hour into the podcast, and we are both shattered after work. So let's talk about, because this is Host Pro, and Host Pro was originally set out to be a gaming podcast with me and my brother to rival Painkiller already, and I think they were called Connection Interrupted. It was Seen Hours and Hutch had a podcast a long time ago. So it's a gaming podcast. It was originally conceived, the original idea was a gaming podcast. So, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes. I am so fucking excited for that game. They have teased it so many times. I'm like, when is it going to be released? When is it going to be released? And there's so many theories going around the internet. It's going to be before the summer. It's going to be after the summer. They've delayed it for a year. And I'm like, they can't have delayed it for a year because we've seen the trailers, we've seen the gameplay. It's there, it's ready to go. They're just tweaking it, and they're doing different dubs for the different languages, and they're just processing it. And it's just like, but that game cannot come out quick enough. It really cannot come out quick enough.
I think Kojima has said that they're doing the where that game, the stage that game is at, is apparently Kojima said they're doing basically the gaming equivalent of final editing.
Yes, so, because I mean, Kiefer he's done all of his voice acting and all of his motion capture, everything like that is done. They've got all the characters, they've got the storyline and everything else. I think it's something to do with the Fox engine, because obviously this is a brand new engine, and obviously you're going to have to work with it. You have to be patient with the program, because it's a new. Whenever you do something new and change, I mean, change is painful and change is very slow. So it's taken a long time to sort of work out all the bugs and make sure it's as authentic as possible, which is what is going to make getting the game so much fucking better, which is why I cannot fucking wait to get this game. It needs to be released by the summer, because hopefully by summertime I'll be back working on nights, so I can come straight home and I can just get straight on the PlayStation and just play it. I will probably not sleep for a week. I can guarantee it. I will just be up playing that game all the time. All the time. And you need to check out Ben's channel, because I know as soon as you get the game as well, there are going to be a lot of videos of it.
Yes. My hope is with that game, I'll have finished Metal Gear Solid 4 on the channel by then, which means a summer release is probably going to be a good time, because I'm making pretty good headway on getting Metal Gear Solid 1 uploaded. Then I've got the live stream for 2 and 3 and 4. I might be a bit late, maybe 2 or 3 months late on it, but I'm planning to do a Let's Play a story, and then I'll start sort of doing other videos on like separate notes, separate ways that thing can go, because apparently there's like millions of branches that you can take that, and there's like subplots which ultimately are interesting subplots to learn how they resolve themselves, but don't shake the core of the storyline, but are still really good subplots. So I'll be interested to see how those go as well. And the way they're saying this is so in depth as well, and I think one of the key things for the Fox engine itself, and this is an interesting point, is that the Fox engine is basically a development tool, and it's going to make gaming development so much easier for people who use it. Because I saw a tech demo, and it was literally like having Microsoft Paint but for game developing, and I was like, that's a really good idea. Apparently, you can set up stages and obstacles so quickly. And I mean, when I say quickly, apparently they reckon, well, now that the Fox engine is nearing its completion, and they've got a couple of the bugs worked out, they reckon if you were to create, say, a game that would take you 5 hours to play through in a storyline, they reckon you could build the levels for that game with the Fox engine in about a month. That's how powerful the Fox engine actually is.
In game developing time, that is an astronomical step forward. I mean, that's the thing with Hideo Kojima. He's always like even with the original Metal Gear Solid, he likes to push things and test things and say, okay, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try something new. And that's why so many people buy his stuff, and that's why there's so many fans all over the world. And I mean, that's why I cannot wait for this game, because the Fox engine is just going to be so brilliant. It's going to be so amazing. I mean, I've seen the textures and the graphics comparisons and the speedrun and the 60 FPS, and it's just like, oh, I need to have that game. It needs to come out like yesterday. It needs to be here. And I don't care how much it costs. He will make so much money from this, and deservedly so. He is going to make so much cash from this. And you know what? I give full credit to him, because he is just an amazing game developer. He's an amazing storyteller, and it's the way he connects and he does things like so differently, and like he engages you with storylines, and he's like, okay, you can do it this way, but it could also be done this way, and if it doesn't work that way, you can do it this way, and then but what if you bring in an X factor and you do this, and then bring in a Y factor and do this, but then what about if this happens? And it's just so much going on, and you just sat there going, because there's so much going on. That's why this game needs to be developed like quickly. Like it needs to come out.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome as well. I mean, like you said, with the X and the Ys, it's got a whole alphabet of factors going on. Now that you've got the open world, it's like, how many factors can you have? Well, how about a whole 26 letters of the alphabet? I think it's 26 letters in the alphabet.
Yes.
I hope I'm not wrong about that.
No, you are right on that. 26 letters.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of factors. That's a lot of 26 X factors. That's a lot. I mean that would put away Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I might. Well, I would hope so. I should think so. But the thing is, it's just with this game developing, it's just like the open world and the things you can do, and he's bringing back Mother Base and everything, and it's just gonna. What I'm more interested in is how the story integrates, because this is set around about the time of the Les Enfants Terribles, and obviously they've tweaked with Eli being in it, who is speculated to be Liquid Snake. Are we going to see an appearance from Solid Snake? Are we going to see an appearance from Campbell? Is it going to go back to sort of stuff like that? Are we going to be introduced to Grey Fox, which I know you're looking forward to, definitely.
I hope so, yeah.
I'm just wondering if they're going to go back and they're going to sort of tie up all these loose ends. But then, because he always does cliffhangers as well, which is why I really want to play the game and get to the end, because I want to know, is there going to be an MGS 6 which is going to tie in with that, or is it going to be like a remake of the original Metal Gear, which eventually spawns into a brand new series of redeveloping the game and everything? And it's just, I'm so excited for it. It needs to come out like now. If it was announced now, I would just run to the nearest shop and buy it. Because
I mean, there are a lot of ways he can take that story. He can leave it in a place where there's room for another Metal Gear game to tie up. But I think this is a near perfect opportunity for us to see Big Boss tie up the loose ends, and in the end of the storyline, we see him. The way I think this storyline should end, or at least what I'd love to see as a Metal Gear Solid fan, would be to see him tie up the loose ends and have, at the end of the game, Big Boss is back in command of Fox Sound, and Solid Snake joins. And then we can, but I don't think that's going to happen because David Hayter hasn't recorded any voice acting, so I don't think this is going to happen. This is what I'd like to see. I want to put that speculation. This isn't what I think. This is how I'd like it to be. And we see Big Boss outline. We see Big Boss brief Solid on his mission in Metal Gear. I think that would be a hell of a way for it to end. Because then that's the very final Metal Gear game, starting the NES game, which is the very, very first one, and then that just brings the storyline completely full circle.
And that's I mean, the thing is like, I've just got pictures, like a picture in my mind of like obviously how it would look is like maybe at the end of Phantom Pain. They kind of skip forward maybe like, because I think the original Metal Gear was it like 1994 or something in the game dialogue? I know it was released in the 80s, but because Metal Gear is always like a few years ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think it was set around about 92 or 93, which means if you factor into it, let's say this is 1984 when Phantom Pain is set. Let's say Eli is 12 years old. If you were to fast forward it 10 years, that would obviously make him, 20, 21, 22. So he's a young man, and that's basically when Snake started by joining Foxhound, because he was young when he joined, and then obviously there were gaps in between each Metal Gear. So I'm wondering if at the end we're going to have some kind of like, when it fades to black and there's just the subtitles on the screen and something like that, and you can have Big Boss talking about, oh, I'm going to forge a new unit, Foxhound, all this sort of stuff, and they can be like, great, meet your new recruit. Big Boss, meet Solid Snake. Just something like that to just sort of throw it out like that, and then that would make us think, okay, are they going to remake the original Metal Gear? Because Metal Gear was made on, what was the NES, an 8-bit system? I think it was 8-bit.
Yeah, 8-bit.
If you were to remake that game and extend it with all the previous content that we've had for the past 15 years, it would be a hell of a fucking game. And I'm really hoping that is what they go for. There's already talks about remakes of Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. So yes. I'm hoping that is the way that they'll go forward, because I would love to see all these games remade and remastered. And then as the next console comes along, because obviously we're going to have PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, I'm assuming, or whatever. So we'll get the next gen. They'll be on the next gen, and everything will just it'll just be fantastic.
Let's see if I can use one of the new features of Google Plus, because this might interest you. I was watching a channel called Yong Yeah, and he sort of does a lot of analytical videos. And he posted a story of there's a remake. There's a people. It's like a separate company. We're doing a remake of Metal Gear, and
Yes.
and actually David Hayter had been approved for this project,
Yep.
and he had done. He
I think
had much.
Yeah, he's sat on the computer. I think he's already done some sort of ADR, hasn't he? He's already started like recording, and he's doing scripts and stuff as well.
Unfortunately, the problem is, I think he's already done a couple of bits of voice recording for it, but Konami has now shut that down apparently, which is a bit shit. But there was a trailer somewhere.
But see, that's what Kojima does, though. He could shut it down because he wants it to be mysterious. You know, that could just be like a little teaser of what we could get later on, which is why he's so clever, because now he's going to create even more interest, and they're going to be like, okay, Phantom Pain was fantastic, and then if he's releasing teasers of what could happen, and they're like, oh yeah, Snake, Snake is back, and if they've got David Hayter recording, I mean, no offense to Kiefer Sutherland, I love Kiefer Sutherland, but it's just not the same having Kiefer Sutherland's voice. I don't doubt he'll do a fantastic job.
It's not really.
But it's just not a good credit to the series. I still don't even know why they didn't sign David Hayter on, because, I mean, he was willing to do it.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, is this the... There really was... I remember seeing a trailer, and it was amazing.
Hello, Smudge.
Where's the trailer? Oh, no, there was a trailer. Where has it gone? I can't remember. Was it in the shutdown thing? He posted a link to the actual trailer they did for it. I can't remember. I was going to try and use the feature for
the
Hangouts and post a link to it for everybody in the stream to see, which is that's a shame. I can't find it now.
You can always add it onto the video. I mean, you can always add it to the description, though, can't you? Like,
yeah, if I find it, I'll give it a more thorough look in the end after we're finished with this, because we still have a very cool thing to do. So if I find it, I'll post a link in there, because trust me, I would like to think that if Konami can learn from WWE's mistakes and listen to the fans and reset, because of course what they have taken away, they can give back. So if enough people see it and get behind it and say we want this, then maybe, just maybe, Konami will be like, actually yes, this is a good idea, these people seem to be doing this justice, let's have that go ahead. Because having David Hayter there to voice Solid Snake, oh my God, that has made it so official. It's like,
I mean, it's like I said, like Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, I love Kiefer Sutherland. He's a great actor. I've seen, so much of his work, and I think he's a fantastic actor and everything. And like I said, I don't doubt he'll do a fantastic job, but it's just not the same. I mean, Solid Snake is David Hayter. It always has been, and in my mind, it always will be. So no disrespect to Kiefer Sutherland, he's not going to be able to hold a candle to David Hayter, because David Hayter is Solid Snake and Big Boss. So, that's why I'll be excited to see if David Hayter has re-signed and they start like recording dialogue and stuff. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be doing so many host pros about it if we hear about it.
Yeah, that's what I liked about that's what I liked about this like independent remake. It wasn't Konami development team. It was not Kojima development team.
No, it was completely separate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a separate company, and they said, look, we're interested in doing this, and then Konami initially approved it. And when they announced that they actually had David Hayter there to do voice work, it was like, okay, this is not going to be an ambitious, to borrow Tolkien, an ambitious but rubbish thing. This is going to be serious, and they are genuinely pulling out all the stops. And to actually have the voice of Snake, it let I think people know that this was actually genuinely going to be a pretty serious thing, and that's what I was more interested in. It's not so much that it's David Hayter and it's like, wow. It's more the fact that he'd signed for this independent company making a fan it's basically a fan-made remake.
Yeah, and I think they would get so much publicity behind it. And I mean, Konami would be stupid to deny them remaking this game, because with funding from Konami and Kojima's blessing as well, they could make this game fucking huge, because there's been so many talks about, oh, it needs to be remade, it needs to be remade. I read something about apparently the Twin Snakes is going to be remade. I think that might have been the fan guys that you're on about, because they're on about using obviously the original dialogue from the Twin Snakes and obviously re-recording certain parts with David Hayter and stuff. So I don't know, but I'm excited to see that, especially as soon as it's going to be like basically just fan made. It's not going to be another Kojima production, which is cool. You know, if they can give them the ball and say, okay, run with it, go ahead, green light. It's going to be huge. It might even possibly, I mean, I'm only talking, I'll be able to say it with the benefit of hindsight, but it might actually sell and do better than Phantom Pain, mainly because it's a remake of the classic. And if it's a good remake and a legitimate remake, it will fucking blow previous sales figures out of the water.
Yeah, and just so I think I'm right. You do mean use the original dialogue from the PS1 version rather than the Twin Snakes, which was the GameCube version, I think.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the GameCube
Nintendo
version,
did a remake, didn't it?
Yeah,
and it was pretty shit because they redid the audio, and it just wasn't the same. Only David Hayter. There were a couple of characters who had the same voice actors, but they just weren't on the same level. The heart just wasn't in that game, I don't think.
Well, no, it was the entire voice cast returned to do the remake, apart from, I think it was George Bird who did the DARPA chief, I think it was. He was the only one that was changed.
Oh, yes, because Grey Fox wasn't the same.
Yes, and they kept the script basically exactly the same as it was, but then they started chopping and changing it a little bit, which isn't exact, and then I mean it doesn't become a remake. It becomes something, you know, its own game, which is why I think it didn't do as well as people expected it to do, which is a shame really, because the remastered graphics and everything is fucking awesome for the time. Being released on the GameCube, it was amazing.
Yeah, I think I definitely think if they could, I don't know if they actually have the files. They probably do have the recordings somewhere. If they have those original sound recordings from the PS1 version, as it pertains to voice acting and in particular soundtrack, then yes. Oh yes. If you can have.
The thing is, I mean, the original soundtrack, obviously, it would all have to be re-recorded, because the software that they used to record back in 1996 or 7, whenever they started recording it, isn't going to be anything close to the recording quality they have nowadays. But if they can have the original script and the original passion and the original voice actors return to those roles, it would be fucking huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, and I think I am very much looking forward to seeing what happens, because I think there's after Phantom Pain that they could do. There's many things they could do, and I have a feeling the end of the Phantom Pain will help give us some clues as to where they're going to go. I think that's why it's taking longer. Like Kojima's holding on to develop it, because obviously I think he's still he seems to me a kind of guy that's like thinks of twists like at the last minute. So he thinks, oh shit, I need to go back and redo that, or oh shit, I need to add that in quickly and stuff like that. But he will make it an epic game, which is what I mean. It sounds bad, but the only reason I really want to play it is through to the end to see. You know, not only because it's going to be an amazing game with amazing characters and storylines and everything else, but like you said, it's going to wrap everything up and it's going to start developing and maybe giving us teasers into what's coming next, if there is going to be anything next, which there's going to be. There's got to be something else, because the Metal Gear Solid series, you can't just finish it. It's one of those series that's just going to keep going and going and going as long as Kojima still has breath in his body. So, you know, I'm really excited to see the end and see what happens. Which is why I want the game to be fucking released, like, now. It needs to come out, like, now. I will run to the shop right now, in my onesie, and I will buy the fucking game. So, shall we, it's in the titles, the HPAs.
Yes, however, before we do that, I do need another urination break. I do apologise to anybody that's watching and will be watching on YouTube, but I will
have thought of a way to actually bring back one of my other topics from last week. Actually, I've just thought of one way to do that. We just take down the. Whilst you're doing that, I'll take.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to run away for a quick pee break, people. I do apologise. I will be back very, very shortly. In the meantime, I'll leave you with Glenn.
Yes, I shall not do a dance because I can't dance. However, I think it's worth pointing out to you guys, the pair of us were at work this morning. I got a terrible sleep. I did not sleep long, so I'm shattered. I've been yawning like crazy throughout this podcast, just been holding it in my mouth, and you haven't seen it. But Marcus was up a little bit earlier than I was. He's had a lot of coffee. It's the only way he's up. So, yeah, that's why he's having to go to the toilet. So when you think of it like that, I know it's a bit unprofessional running into the toilet and into the thing. But then again, it's UPW. We're unprofessionals. That's kind of the whole point. Although, then again, this is Host Pro, so maybe it should be more professional. But when you consider it like that, it's more understandable. Even top radio hosts go to the toilet in the middle of the show. Yeah. What do you think they're doing when they play a 5-minute long song? You know what I mean? So the HPAs are awesome. So I did this last year, and this new category I'm bringing back is announcements. The announcement of the year, and I'm going to take down a couple of nominations. Only three nominations. Doesn't need to be a big thing.
Whew. Okay, apologies, people. I am back.
And
I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. It's probably all the coffee that I've been drinking.
I just said I was just explaining how you might think it needs to be more professional, that it's called Host Pro, but at the same time we were both up early. Like, I mean, I didn't get a good sleep. I should have got a much better sleep than I did, but I sort of couldn't sleep, and then I started watching the Tudors, and then usually I didn't fall asleep whilst watching TV, which is normally the way I fall asleep nowadays. I normally go to sleep. I'm in bed for 7 hours, wake up, and the TV's still on. That's how it happens nowadays. Because the reason why that happens is because if I'm watching the TV, my brain isn't thinking, so it just switches off and goes off, and that's what happens.
Yeah, that's basically what I used to do as well. I used to put a DVD or something on, and I would fall asleep watching it, and then each night I would go back to where I remember watching it, and then carry on with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and this night it just didn't happen. I was like, oh fuck! It's now 5 a.m. I'm going to be up for work by 8. I'm only going to get a 3 hour sleep if I fall asleep right now, which I didn't.
Yeah,
so,
that's basically what happened to me. Time went ticking on, and I kept chatting to people, and so and so and so and so, and then I was like, okay, I need to be awake at 4 o'clock, quarter to 12. It's like, great, so I'm going to get 4 hours max. So yeah, we're both kind of slightly tired at the moment. So apologies for any lack of energy that we have.
And for you, it's even worse because. Not that we're going to say what we do at work, because that's kind of like the gimmick of me as it pertains to work, is not mention it but be secretive. But you had a lot more physical activity to do than I did. When I came in, things were settling down, and the rush, the main business of the day, physically wise, was already taken care of. Yeah. I got the tail end of that, so I was not so bad off.
Yeah, I did break quite a sweat this morning. I did have to move quite quickly, but everything did get done, and another successful day at the wonderful land at which we work. And we won't say anything because not only do we not want to give it away, but we're also kind of not allowed. So the way we describe it, it sounds kind of like we work for WWE. You fuckers aren't fun. You're just not fun.
Yeah, in some very real ways, that place is almost exactly like working for the WWE. But again, we can't explain it to you.
Yeah.
One day when we're not there anymore and we don't work for them anymore, which there will come a day when we do not work for them anymore. And for me, there's a sneaky feeling for me that day is approaching.
I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. But I have a feeling when my end does come, depending on how things go over the next couple of months, it probably won't be my choice. That's just the way things seem to be going.
See, this is good though, because this adds a bit of mystery to viewers. They're going to be thinking, so where do these guys actually work? But I do guarantee, like I said to you a few weeks ago, if something does happen and one of us goes or both of us go at the same time, it's going to be CM Punk Colt Cabana style shoot podcast on where we worked and what we did.
Yeah.
It's going to be no limits, no topic is off limits. We are going to let
Big reveal.
And it's going to be very interesting for you guys to watch. So if you guys have any job opportunities and you want to employ us somewhere else so we can actually tell you these things, please do get in contact. Please get in contact.
Yeah, and if you want to hear that story, you guys can do something about that too. You can punch that like button in the face like a boss, and then there'll be high fives around. Whoosh, whoosh. I've stolen that from Jacksepticeye. That is a genuine tribute to Jacksepticeye. Make no bones about it. But if you do that, that will help me out. That will get me more views, and I make no bones about it. My channel is monetized. So if you guys blow this channel up, I can stop working there on my own choice. I get to leave of my own volition and see the stupid look on my boss's face, which is something I've dreamt about, the look on this guy's face when I leave on my own volition. I would love to do that, because the guy is just... I'm not going to say who it is, but he is... Oh, he's something else.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it makes my screen crawl, basically. That's how much I hate him these days. Never used to be this way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting as well for people to see. I mean, if we could get out of that place, it's going to be very interesting to reveal, because, I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, you've already got tons of stories as it is, but I've been there a lot longer than you have. I have so many things that I need to get off my chest. So, guys, hook us up, give us a job somewhere, please. Please, give us a job somewhere.
There are things about that company now which are getting stupid, even worse. I think the company, my estimation, it could just be because I'm more cynical now than when I started. Because when I started, it was in my original appraisal. It was in my original appraisal. Happy-go-lucky was one of the things that was mentioned about me. That's not one of the things he's going to mention in this year's appraisal. Trust me.
Well, I mean, you obviously know the situation. I don't want to give too much away, but if we do get out of that place, I'll be able to spill the beans fully about what happened. But basically, we had a very big blow-up probably about maybe 8 months ago, and I was actually telling another guy at work about it because he hadn't heard anything about it, and I just told him, and he just kind of looked at me, and he just went, "That's brilliant." You know, and I mean, I haven't really revealed the full details, so I would love to do a shoot interview on that, and it would be extremely funny, and it would be an extreme insight into just what you would be getting yourself into if you were to apply for this particular place. So you guys will just have to wait and see. I
really want to be able to talk about that place without any fear of being let go, because I really can't afford to be let go.
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same situation. Anyway, happier topics. What are we on
happier topics. We are on the Host Pro Awards. It's 2014, big year, and we've got a couple of categories just for you guys on the podcast. We have the best movie of 2014 awards, the best song, the best game, the sports personality, the worst decision of the year, the best car of the year. We have the wrestler of the year. We have the YouTuber of the year, the UPW moment of the year. It's just Jesus. And oh my God, we have the announcement of the year. It's like, oh shit, we've got a lot to get through here.
You are gonna die. You are gonna die.
Yeah, last year I managed to get through this with my brother in about 20 minutes. We'll see if that happens this year. But so the way I think we do this is just go in order of what I've written down here. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna read out the category. I'm going to give you the nominations and the reason why they're nominated. Me and Marcus are going to have a discussion about who we think should win, and then whoever wins probably won't give a shit and they won't see it. But trust me, it's what it is. They won.
I think that's the way I see this going. Whoever wins, whoever we select to wins, becomes the prestigious owner of the Host Pro and Widdicombe Rape Alarm Award.
Yes. Oh yes. They become the prestigious owner of an award, a trophy which will be a figment of their imagination in their hypothetical section of their cabinet. It's the imaginary brass ring that everybody wants to grab. So, starting off, because, oh, this is exciting. The whole podcast is brought to this point, because this is the title of the podcast. It's the HPAs, the best movie of 2014. And your nominations are The Guardians of the Galaxy, for being so much better than I thought it would be. And the next nomination is The Guardians of the Galaxy, for having one amazing fight scene in it. I mean, that was a hell of a fight scene. And my next nomination is The Guardians of the Galaxy, because Chris Pratt was amazing in that. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. And best movie, the fourth nomination is Godzilla. Nah, just joking. It's The Guardians of the Galaxy, because it had an amazing soundtrack. I mean, that soundtrack was cool. I love that soundtrack. It's all 80s music. It's I'm hooked on a feeling, da 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 da. I am believing that you're in love with me. So, just to recap, your nominations are The Guardians of the Galaxy 4 times. So, Marcus, what's the movie of 2014? Who's going to win?
You know what the interesting thing is that anybody who's watching this, you have to believe I'm friends with this guy. Okay? This guy is one of my friends, and he is my UPW co-founder, and there isn't much of anything that we don't talk about at all. So yeah, as soon as you said Godzilla, I was like, wait, what? So yes, but I mean, this is a tough choice. I mean, you've got 4 top contenders there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have to think long and hard about this one. Actually, no, wait, I've just made up my mind. The winner is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes! I tell you, I mean, for those of you who don't know me in real life, if I'm not in a bad mood, if somebody who may or may not resemble aquatic life, if somebody like that hasn't pissed me off, I am one of the most random people in the world, and this right there, that was just a small snapshot of what life with me is like. I think Mark's going to attest to that.
It's certainly something. I will say that much. The thing is that the uniqueness is what makes it funny, because there's just so much stuff that we talk. I mean, you and me talk probably at least, well, I would say on a daily basis. There's always something we can talk about, mainly wrestling related, but we've talked about so much stuff. I mean, we've only known each other, what, not even 2 years, I don't think?
No, it must be, like yeah, just under 2 years, I think.
Yeah, basically 2 years. And in 2 years, we've basically covered pretty much any topic you can think of. We've done Host Pro together. We're fucking wrestlers now, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
that didn't happen before we met.
No, that just happened completely off the cuff. It just happened one night. We're like, oh, we feel like wrestling. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
That was the thing, wasn't it? That was literally how it started. We were literally... I think it might have been your birthday, and Rich was around. Rich Jago.
No. This was.
Oh no, it's maybe a different occasion then.
Yes, this was the night that Big Nath moved in. Big Nath, who's currently in there.
Oh yes, yeah, that's the one.
And
of course, we all got drunk and started wrestling.
We were just drunk and we were hanging out and we were having like such a good time. And then we got back in here because we've been talking about wrestling, and I was like, do you know what? Fuck it, let's just pull the mattress out and see what happens. And that was basically the start of unprofessional wrestling. And I mean, considering where it was to where it is now, is kind of ridiculous, really.
The origin of it is silly, because I mean, and you can see there is footage. It wasn't like a proper episode of UPW. I mean, the UPW name came later on. It wasn't UPW at that point, but the concept was there, and there is video. There's a video, and this is why I say go to Marcus's channel, because the origin, the birth point of UPW as a concept is on Marcus's channel. I get chokeslammed by Rich, and it wasn't bad. And we were like, okay, well, we could do something with this, and then it happened.
And then the next time we just thought, okay, we'll try it, and then we were like, okay, this is kind of cool. You know, I mean, the first proper session that we recorded wasn't really much of a session as such.
Not really.
But, it does involve probably, I would say, and I know you'll agree with this, the best chokeslam I've ever taken. I have never taken a chokeslam since. There's good.
Yeah, the people are going to hear about that later in the HPAs.
Yeah,
because
that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that next session, man. That's when I was just like, well, what am I going to call this video? unprofessional wrestling, and then UPW, the name was born, and then that's basically been a thing. It's two guys who don't really know what they're doing trying to wrestle.
And I mean, where it's come from now, I mean, like, pretty much every video has got, like, well over 100 views, which to some YouTubers and people out there, they're like, oh, 100 views, that's nothing. But it's like, yeah, you don't know where it came from. You don't know how all of this started.
Yeah, and there's another thing with that is, I guess, my channel, I think at the point when we started uploading, it wasn't as big as it is now. In fact, it was significantly smaller. It was, I think it had around 500 subscribers at that point. So, I mean, that shows you how many subscribers. My subscriber count is growing. And the amount of people that are subscribing is picking up. It's like a snowball effect, and that's how it is, I think, with YouTube. But as well, up until the point of UPW, it was pretty much all gameplay. It was the whole channel revolved around gameplay. Originally it revolved around Call of Duty gameplay, but that never really got over. I always refer to it as getting over now because of wrestling. And
I know, you're a big mark, I know.
Yeah, and then well, we are a wrestler. We're allowed to use the term.
Yeah, that is true.
And then of course the channel at that point, it was all gameplay, different types of games, all sorts of things. It was very funny, and it was getting successful off of gameplay. And then all of a sudden I decided, and then all of a sudden we introduced live wrestling. It's like live action wrestling. All of a sudden, it was all 500 of my subscribers. I can guarantee none of them had subscribed because they wanted to see wrestling.
No.
And then for the UPW videos to go from where they did to start on this and then actually pick up interest to the point where one of them's now got 260 views, and the UPW videos are all getting likes and they're getting subscriptions. It's almost becoming a little bit of an entity of its own.
I mean, comments and fan interaction, which just goes back to what we were saying earlier. You know, I mean, you were saying before on your channel, you did have sort of fan interaction at times, you know, but I mean, with the advent of UPW, with getting fan interaction and stuff, I mean, that's a huge step forward, and that's why we always say thank you to everybody that watches, likes, subscribes, shows it to their friends, and says, oh, you know, just check this out. I mean, even if you don't find it good, even if you leave a bad comment, it's still a comment. So by all means, check out the videos, see what kind of crazy fucking stuff we actually do. You know, you might get a kick out of it.
It's quite funny, and I mean, I find it, I think UPW is what really took is what evolved my channel into what it is now. Because before it was all gameplay. My channel was a gameplay channel, which is what got me the partnership with Zoom and TV to its credit. But it's now become more than a gaming channel. It's still primarily a gaming channel. Make no mistake, UPW hasn't taken it over or anything. But there's now a much more even spread of content on there. And now that I'm bringing back Host Pro as well, Host Pro 2.0. The repertoire of different type of content that you can get on my channel is now just expanded to the point where I've become a general entertainment channel. And to be honest, having those different strings to my bow, like I can there's Train Simulator 2014. Whoosh, here's me sinking a ship in Padstow. Whoosh, here's Marcus looking like he's fallen out of a building and sounding like he's got a perforated lung.
Oh, wow.
Here's me upside down in a scoop stand going, this isn't working, terrified that I'm about to have my neck broken. And then, whoosh, here comes Forza Motorsport. Whoosh, here comes wrestling. It's just, whoosh, here comes a 3-hour live entertainment podcast. It's like, there's so many things going on there that, I mean, I've now gotten, and then finally, here comes a Let's Play and live streaming of Metal Gear Solid and games. It's like I can pull out so many different things. If like any one thing becomes stale, then there's more I can do because I'm not pigeonholed into just. Because I used to do that. I used to just do Call of Duty commentary, and whilst I think the commentaries were very good, and I used to come up with some pretty interesting, quite funny lines, if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm a bit biased, but the commentaries were good, but I was exclusively a Call of Duty commentator. It wasn't even broader gameplay, it was just Call of Duty. I was a Call of Duty channel, and I always wanted, after a while, when Call of Duty, I'd say Black Ops 2 came out, and the games started to go downhill. I was like, I want to start branching the channel out from that because I don't really want to be a Call of Duty gamer if this is where we're going, basically. And successfully branched the channel out from there, and to find out that nearly everything has worked. And that's why I say thank you to everybody, because you've allowed me to really expand and just be a general entertainer, and I've been able to do what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel, basically, and that's make the videos that I feel like making at the time, and it's a fantastic thing to do. Oh wait, we got off topic.
Oh yeah, the winner. The winner of the Host Pro and Whittaker Ray Palam Award for Best Film of the Year 2014 goes to Guardians of the Galaxy, and justifiably so, with no kind of bias towards it. It's just such a great film. You know, I mean, there's no way that you can fault it. You know, I mean, compared to films that have been out last year, there's no other one film that sticks out in my head that goes, oh yeah, that could be, you know, really good. That could be a serious contender. It's just like there's nothing, because it was such a surprising film that they did it as well as they did it. You know,
that's the thing. It's like when I saw it with my brother, I was like, let's go and see this. I was like, Marvel's on a hot streak, so I expect it'll probably be pretty good. But then again, I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy. Hands up, didn't know anything about it. It was a complete unknown quantity to me. I was like, well, it's intriguing. So we went to see it, and I laughed so much. It's just all the moments. It's Batista not getting. It's Batista not getting that, even though if you're like me as well, you know he's been working with The Undertaker. He's been doing that since 2007. You know, and seeing he goes, I don't know what that is. And then he goes, and then Chris Patrick goes, everybody knows what this is. Everybody, you know this, don't you? And then he's like, and then Batista just goes, huh? And he's just like, no, don't know what that is. And then the fight scene as well with Rocket, he's just like, he's there and he goes, I like the simple things in life, like how much is this gonna hurt? He's like, yep. Oh, it's fantastic. And my favourite bit, the bit that just damn near wet myself in the cinema, is the final battle. They're trying to get to Ronan, and then a load of soldiers comes around the store, and Groot just gets out his limb, just goes all the way through the line of them, just swings them around for like 5 minutes, utter destruction, and then just turns around with the most cheesy grin on his face. Oh, just brilliant. I was not expecting that to be as entertaining as it was, so that's why Guardians of the Galaxy had to be nominated 4 times. Because, to be honest, you could say, well, I mean, and I like a certain type of film. Yeah, there are probably other good films out there, but I mean, not ones I'd be interested in. Lord of the Rings, I thought was going to... That's the Battle of the Five Armies, I thought was going to be so much better than it was. But it suffered from Godzilla syndrome. And Godzilla syndrome was, it was hyped as... Bryan Cranston was the only hype man that thing had. You didn't really see much of the actual main character in the film. It was pretty much all Bryan Cranston, and all of his dialogue was in the trailer. And Godzilla roaring, and you thought, wow, this is going to be Bryan Cranston and Godzilla. This is going to be awesome. And then, of course, Godzilla was only in the movie for about 20 minutes of screen time, and Bryan Cranston even less. And we got this pretty boring guy and a couple of monsters who nobody had even heard of, who they thought was going to be Mothra, who wasn't. And it's like, it's good. It's not 1996, I think, Matthew Broderick Godzilla, but it's not as good as you thought it was going to be. And then, of course, Battle of Five Armies came along, and he was like, oh, okay, here we go. Smile's going to go beast mode. He's going to go all Brock Lesnar, beast incarnate, and he's dead in the first 6 minutes. Great. It's the Royal Rumble match all over again. It's literally that.
It was just such a waste, that film. They could have done so much more with it. So that's why Guardians has to win, because it was so unexpected at how good it was. I think that's the main point. People were saying, oh, you know, it's just going to be another comic book rip-off, blah, blah, blah. But just the stories that they told and the way they told it was just flawless. There's just no way you could find any fault with it whatsoever. And the most successful film of 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's like one of the most highest grossing films. Like, I think it's in the top 10 list as well of all time, or something like that. So, you know, I mean, how can you fault that kind of success?
But yes, it's high. It did very, very, very well. And next award. The next award is the Best Song of 2014 awards. Once again, I have nominations. We have Happy by Pharrell Williams, a song which stayed on the #1 list for 8 weeks in a row. 8 weeks in a row. Why? Because it's a happy song. It is a happy song. It makes you feel much happier. Yeah. And then #2 is All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor, and simply because Meghan Trainor has finally made a song that fat people can dance to. And then you've got Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars, which is genuinely just it's such a good song. It just gets you, that one. And because I needed a 4th nomination, Habits Stay High by Tove. I think that's how you pronounce the name, or Tove. One of those two. Which is a song about smoking weed every day. Do it.
That one does hold quite a special place as well, because we've really got into MLG and stuff, and yeah, yes. that song is definitely a serious contender. I think a very underrated contender, but it's definitely there.
It was a sleeper song, that one, but it's one that I liked. I mean, if you consider your reaction to these nominations as well, that shows how poor of the year it's been for music, as I couldn't find 4 genuine contenders. I could only get 2.
Yeah. You know. So, basically,
I like Happy, but it's no Uptown Funk, and I kind of like All About That Bass, but it is really not that good.
That appeals more to the modern day sort of the modern day music listeners, which I do not fall into that demographic at all. So I mean, this could be slightly biased, and there'll be people going, "Oh, how can you say it's a really bad song?" And it's like, yeah, but you know, this is
a bad song. It's just
this is like your host pro. So basically, what you say goes. So you know,
it can be. But do you want me to unleash a zinger about All About That Bass? Because I did a pretty good job of this when I did the top 10 worst songs. All About That Bass is the type of song that appeals to a modern day American.
Yes.
It's a song for America. Fat people. That's the whole market for that song.
And Happy is just I didn't like it. I didn't like it the first time I heard it, and I didn't hear it for the 480 of the time that I heard it, because it was on everywhere that I went. The ironic thing is that song's called Happy. It did nothing but make me fucking miserable. That song. It's fucking. I mean, I'm generally a miserable person anyway, but I remember the real hatred I got for that song. I remember the pinnacle when I thought, okay, I could live without hearing this song ever again. It was when I went to the gym when I was. It was in the middle of summer, and I was like, okay, I'm working out, I'm getting in really good shape, and I'm enjoying working nights, and I'm getting so much money, and everything's great. And I walked into the gym, and because that song was the first song that came on the fucking TV. And I had my headphones in, and I actually just popped one of my headphones out, and I heard this song, and I just went, okay, I'm done. My mood is completely killed. And it was that moment when I thought, I will be happy if I never hear that song ever again, because it's just too overplayed. No discredit to the song. Yeah, the song is good, I suppose, in a way, but not for me. No.
Yeah, so the contenders are Uptown Funk or Habits Stay High by Tove. I like Habits. But I mean, are you with me on this one? Like, do you think Uptown Funk is good, isn't it?
Uptown Funk is definitely more popular. The only reason I like Habits is because obviously of the MLG stuff that we've been getting into, and we just had so many laughs with it. But in terms of actual song quality, I think it will have to go to Funk.
It is. It's a song which is. I like it. I like listening to that song a lot. And Habits Stay High is more of a tragic love song, and Uptown Funk is better at doing what Happy wants it to do.
Without being annoying as well.
Therefore, Bruno Mars, it's gone. Winner of the best song of 2014 is Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson.
Congratulations, you guys.
He's Bruno Mars.
You have just won an award that means absolutely fuck all. So congratulations.
And you don't even know about it.
Well, they might do. They might watch this at some point. Maybe.
Maybe if I get 10 million or so subscribers and I become actual famous. Yeah, maybe. That's the kind of thing. That's what I like about my current channel size, is I've got a lot of people following me, and more than I ever could have imagined. But I'm still like your little secret. I'm still the guy that you like to follow, that only you know about as well. So it's kind of like this own little secret club, which is I kind of like that. So the best game of 2015. Oh yes.
This
I
is going to be a tough one.
I did struggle to create this list actually, and you're going to find that out when you hear the nominations. The first game is WWE 2K15 for actually being a good wrestling game with actual good graphics.
Bringing wrestling back. Bringing wrestling back to how it should be.
Oh yes, and it allowed me to create me. And I'm really happy about that. And my model in the game kind of looks like me here. It's got the right head shape. It's got a massive UPW show on it, which, by the way, I still haven't uploaded to Community Creations, which I'm pretty should.
Yes, definitely.
And I mean, and the other thing about 2K15, the moves, a couple of those moves, the way they're performed and sold in the game, actually kind of look similar-ish to how we perform the moves as well, which I thought was kind of cool. I could create moves that actually look like it would be me doing them.
And the fact, I mean, Sting, how can you fault having Sting in a fucking WWE game?
Oh, amazing.
2 generations as well.
And nomination number 2, Forza Horizon 2, for taking Forza Motorsport 5 and actually making a better handling engine than that game in an arcade racing game. Why that happened, I have no idea. Plus, it also has a bit of a... It's just a good game, although they did get a bit samey. So, the next nomination is a pre-release game, 7 Days to Die!
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good game. That's a game that we need to really badly start playing again with Harry and Nath in a big way. Definitely. Because that would be a 4-man gameplay I want to record, because that was the ultimate. That was the day that I learned you can fend off a zombie apocalypse with a well-placed chair.
A wooden chair as well.
An unpenetrable defense is a chair in a doorway.
That game holds so many funny memories for me. We would just like we would come home from work and stuff, and like me and Nathan used to go to the gym, and we were all living in our own separate houses and stuff, and we would just sit and play that game for just hours and just listen to each other and constantly rip the piss out of each other. It was just such a good game to play.
It was amazing. And you know what it was? It was just that. You know what it was? The chair was genuinely a viable defense, because if you just literally built a ring of chairs around you, then I don't know why, but the gameplay mechanics said it was coded that the zombies wouldn't even bother trying to get through it. That's the thing. They just sort of saw it as blocked, and there was no. And instead, they start trying to smash through the walls instead. It's like, really, you're going the very wrong way about this, you know. But it's so funny. I still think the highlight of that game was that moment. We're all trying to get to that center town. You 3 guys were already there fighting with zombies. I was so close there. I was like going, and I was like, there's a gauntlet of zombies on both sides of the road, and I was just like, oh no, oh, I'm so close.
And there was just a moment of silence, and we were like, wow, I think Ben's just had an orgasm.
Yeah, you 3 just pissed yourself.
Although, do you remember the moment when Nathan stole all the supplies from the camp?
Yeah.
When I wanted to fucking genuinely murder him.
Yeah, because you guys said, I mean, I was kind of.
I don't think you were actually
at that point, because I was just getting killed by zombies. I was a ping pong ball sprawling around the map getting killed, so I wasn't there. But you guys actually genuinely built a fortress and nicked all of the supplies.
We did. The story goes is like the weird thing is the perpetrator of this that created so much rage is he's sat about 5 feet away from me now.
He probably doesn't even know you're talking about him as well.
Oh no, he probably does, but to be honest, I don't care. So. The thing is, there's this military base where you go, and I thought, okay, I'm going to clear out all the zombies, make sure it's nice and safe, and then I'm going to collect landmines, rocket launchers, you know, all the really cool stuff. So I go up there. I'm there for about 20 minutes clearing out all these zombies, crafting ammo, killing zombies left, right, and center. I'm like, okay, I'm going to use all my ammo, but I can replenish it, so it's fine. Then all of a sudden, I'm killing like the last 2 or 3 zombies. I'm running away because I've run out of stuff, and I'm having to punch them to death and stuff like that. And I just hear Nathan go, oh, look, what's in this weapons box? And the motherfucker stole right out from under my nose. He steals an RPG, a fucking submachine gun, a shotgun, shitloads of ammo, shitloads of fucking medicine, pills, and I went fucking ballistic. I was so fucking angry. I grabbed my screen, I bashed the keyboard, and it was lucky he wasn't living with me at the time because I would have legitimately murdered him.
You would have gone into that room and strangled him. Yeah.
I was so pissed off. I didn't speak to him for like a week.
At work either.
I didn't speak to him for a week. I was so fucking annoyed. But luckily we all made up and we all had some fun.
Yeah. So you know what? 7 Days to Die wins. The other nominations were Loadout, because that was another funny one.
Pretty good.
And then Train Simulator 2015 for allowing you to drive a train. Oh yeah.
I can't comment because I've never played that game. So
it's bloody amazing. I'm very good at killing people on it as well. Accidentally, by the way. It's not really that I'm good at killing people on it. It's just I'm really shit at succeeding.
You're not very good at driving the train, let's say.
Not really, no. No,
But
I'm not.
again, that's more a drop in the ocean because, like I say, I haven't played that game. I really should at some point. But no, I think actually out of all of them, as much as I love 2K15 and Forza, I never played. But I mean, you have spoken about it so many times.
It's 7 Days to Die. That's the winner. I gave up on the discussion when we were talking about 7 Days to Die, and I remembered all the funny times on that game. It's like, no, 7 Days to Die won that.
Yeah, that's a clear-cut winner. Only because it holds so many memories of just like all of us getting to know each other and just taking the piss out of each other. I think that's where essentially like all our friendships started to form as well. So that holds very, very special memories.
That's when I think I really started to come into my own in that place as well. You became training phase, yeah.
You did become a member of the clique.
Yes.
We accepted you into the clique, and now you are basically running the clique.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. I'm kind of distancing myself from the clique, but that's just because I'm a grumpy fucker. It's nothing personal.
Then again, well, I mean, that's the time where I just finished the training phase, and I just started to become viable down there, rather than just a ball and chain around the team's ankle. And yeah, we started playing the game, and it's like, that was it.
It was just fun, you know. It was just so funny. We have so many funny memories of that. So well done, 7 Days to Die. You win the Host Pro Award for Game of the Year 2014. Congratulations.
And you probably don't even care.
Well, I would like to think that they care.
I would like to think so as well. Yeah. So, Sports Personality of the Year 2014. We have Roger Federer for just being the most outstanding gentleman in tennis and being the most. He's the only tennis player who makes tennis looks like effortless art. If only we could do the same thing. Then we have Lionel Messi for making football look like effortless art. If only we could do the same thing, we would leave our place of employment and go for a £300,000 a week contract with Barcelona. Because that man is incredible at what he does. Then we have Daniel Ricciardo for taking a four times in a row world champion Sebastian Vettel and making him look like a chump this year. Because Sebastian Vettel, let me just point this out to you. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, has been in F1 for, I think, 2 years. Then people are like, we need a replacement for Mark Webber. Now, I think the more popular choice was his teammate at the time. Who is, oh Jesus Christ, that name's just slipped me. That's because I'm tired. But they hired Daniel Ricciardo. It's like, wow, this is a bit of a swerve. It's like, Daniel Ricciardo, you're going to hire him? It's like, he needs a bit more time to get to know this. So he comes to Red Bull this year, top team. A lot of pressure on the young man's shoulders all of a sudden, and he takes the four-time world champion, the man who's won it 4 times in a row, Sebastian Vettel, and the man who's won the title easily, pretty much. Well, not easily in a couple of years, but the last world title defense was easy. And he made him look crap. Pretty much an unknown makes the 4-time world champion look crap. That would be like Kevin Owens coming into the WWE, instantly defeats John Cena. That's what it is. And finally, because, to be honest, all the obvious nominations I'd run out of, Lewis Hamilton, because he won the F1 World Championship.
Way.
Yay.
Great.
So, because I found F1 to be more boring this year than it has been in previous years because Mercedes were so far ahead. Even the Red Bulls weren't as dominant as that. Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton are ruled out, even though I really like Daniel Ricciardo. Lionel Messi hasn't been as good this year as he has been in previous years, so it's Roger Federer. And plus, we both play tennis, and we know how sodding hard that is. That's an interesting video we could make.
Yeah, we haven't done tennis for a long, long time, actually. Again, that was another highlight of like the summer. It's just like on our days off, like on Sundays, it used to be. That's why we used to call like UPW like Sunday Spearfest and Sunday Wrestlefest and things like that, because it always took place on Sunday. We would go and play tennis, come back here, get a load of crap from the shop, eat the crap, and then we would just beat the shit out of each other for a good couple of hours.
That was just an amazing time, wasn't it? Really.
That was good. So I agree. As soon as you said Federer, I thought, yeah, Federer's going to have to be there.
It's got to be Federer. I mean, that man is a gentleman. He is a true master of his craft. So, let's move on to a rather entertaining award. Worst decision of the year for 2014. The nominations are The Interview, for being the film which simultaneously got Xbox One, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network hacked at the same time by pissed off North Koreans. I have seen the film, and I don't blame them for being pissed. It's just Americans thinking, we're America, we're untouchable. Well, you're not. Stop it. The Interview is a crap film, and it's not funny.
No.
The next decision of the year is Batista won the Royal Rumble for 2014, which up until this year was the worst Rumble match in world history, because that was the second loudest boo in Royal Rumble history, behind this year's Royal Rumble. In fact, that's what made this Royal Rumble bomb even harder, because it needed to be good after last year's, and it was even worse.
Yeah, we're going to have to pull something special out for 2016. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and then my final nomination is me for letting Host Pro die for so long. That is my bad. I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't have the time. I'm sorry. I really should have kept Host Pro going, but it's just like, to do a really good episode, you do have to have some idea in your head of what you want to say and some good topics, and I did not have enough time to come up with those things. Plus, I got the Beast, my new computer, and I didn't have the webcam, and it's like, well, and plus the webcam I had was so dark on the laptop, you couldn't see me, and now I've actually got a decent webcam where you can see me. It's flipping dark in this room. Believe me, if in the old days, imagine, I don't know really if I can, no, it can't go dark enough. It doesn't go dark enough.
It was very, very, very dark.
Maybe if I turn off my light, you might understand.
It wasn't just dark, it was no, you're still lighter in this one.
Yeah, I'm still lighter now. In fact, this is almost a cool effect. This doesn't go as dark as the old webcam, so I was like, I wasn't motivated to keep doing it. But yes, that is one of the nominations on this list. Me being stupid enough to let Host Pro die. So I guess I wonder which is the winner. The movie, which got 2 major gaming companies hacked, Batista winning the 2014 Royal Rumble, or me being a moron. And by the way, today's episode, whilst I was at work, I was just thinking of the topics.
It was kind of off the cuff, wasn't it? You were just like, yeah, we're going to do Host Pro. I was like, oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, I was like,
it's good. It's good though. It's impromptu. It's good. It's good to get back in form.
It needed to happen.
Yeah, the Interview. Yes, it was a pretty terrible, terrible decision. And
yeah, I was pissed off because I think they're still launching attacks on Xbox Live, because my Xbox has been so inconsistent, even more than usual with the online stuff.
It did piss off a lot of people, and rightfully so. I think their pissed offness was actually justified. And put it this way, they could have done a hell of a lot worse, so I think we got lucky with that one. Batista winning the Rumble, that was a very, very bad decision. But again, it was one of those ones that we just knew was going to happen. He came back, we knew it was going to happen. So there was nothing that we could have done about it. We knew it was going to happen. Yeah. As for Host Pro dying, the thing is, like you said, that wasn't really your fault, because at the time you were working as well a lot. I mean, a hell of a lot. So you were constantly tired.
Hours were up.
we were doing UPW, so that was kind of a new branch of things, which ultimately turned out to be a very good thing. But yeah, I mean, Host Pro was basically your baby, wasn't it?
It was,
You let your baby die.
Yeah, it's a thing that I had going since university. And then
I think it does have to go to you. I mean, you let your baby die. That kind of has to take the biscuit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's literally like, so, what do you regret doing this year? Killing my own baby.
I think
this is another thing that happened to me in real world. I say things like that.
I think it definitely has to go to that because, like we said, Batista we knew was going to happen in the interview. Was stupid. What?
Do you know what this means?
What?
I won something. I won an award.
On your own show, you won an award. That is something to be proud of. You are going to be the proud recipient of an Anne Widdecombe rape alarm.
Yes. Do you know what? Wait. I am going to go and get a trophy, and I'm going to have it, worst decision of the year 2014 HPA, and I'm going to have it on that counter back there so people who watch the podcast can see the award I won on my own show.
But put it this way, you won an award. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, that's basically like that's a hard fought award as well, isn't it? Because I had some stupid competition. But I think in the end, I had to give the award to myself. I mean, there's no other winner, really. There's no brainer.
You were going up against possibly the guy that proved himself to be a fantastic actor this year and still a terrible wrestler. And you were going up against a film that basically pissed off like 3 major countries. So,
I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Surprise appearance from Big Nate.
I should do a speech to commemorate this amazing moment.
You can try. This should be interesting.
I'm not going to. I'm going to get the next award. I don't want to milk the moment. I'd like to thank all my fans, of which there are 615 of you. Thank all of you. This is an amazing moment. I've never won such a prestigious event in my life. Well, not since I won the go-kart race at St. Apple Go-Kart Circuit against people half my size, which, trust me, in go-karts is freaking hard. Not since then have I ever won anything quite this amazing. That said, I also won the first squash match in UPW history, so again, that's an achievement.
That's true, but you didn't get a trophy for that. So.
No, but this is the first time, well, the 5th time I've ever actually won a trophy for something. So
it's definitely something to be proud of. You'd like to thank all your fans, but you do have to remember you've got no fans. And you've got no fans.
I mean, I'd like to thank all my fans, of which I had no fans, but I'd also like to thank my mum and my dad for doing the deed and giving birth to me, giving me that immense opportunity at life so that I could get to this moment. I'd also like to thank, Zandig for giving me that amazing quote. Thank you, Zandig. Rest in peace. Bro.
Rest in peace, John Zandig.
Jesus.
The only man I think that deserved to break the streak if he had still been alive.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'd also like to thank Sting, The Undertaker, Goldberg, Kane, Jensen Button, Michael Schumacher, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, all for giving me the motivation to go out and entertain you guys, because if I hadn't had that motivation, this war would never have been possible. But most of all, I mean, I would also like to thank Marcus for being here to witness this moment live. And I would also like to thank, I think the most important thank you I can give in this most humble moment is I'd most like to...
I know where this is going.
From the heart, I'd like to thank me, because without me, I couldn't have picked myself to win this award. So the biggest thank you had to go to me, because I'm just amazing. I love me.
I just knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Look at my face. I'm thinking of me right now. Look at how big my smile is. You don't get a smile this big unless if you think of somebody as great as me.
The worst thing is, I knew it was coming and I couldn't do anything to stop it. I was like, I know it's coming and I just can't do anything about it.
And the view just clicked off.
Wow. You won an award and you've lost a fan. This is going swimmingly. Wait, you actually had somebody watching this?
Yeah. There's been at some points there have been 3 people watching it at the time, which is, considering I didn't really announce that we were going to do it, it's pretty good.
That's not
Because
bad.
the promo for the Return of Host Pro is coming up later on, which I've been envisaging in my head all day at work. I've been envisaging it's going to be Bray Wyatt's promo, right? Where he goes, the one that his debut promo with "What profits a man who gains the world but loses his soul along the way." I was gonna have I'm gonna go outside to my garden, just like walk really fast and film pebbles and go along the fence like outside, and just like have me spinning in this chair, like laughing, going whoosh, like all over, like make it look crazy. And I'm gonna have the commentary line. It's gonna be it's gonna go. My commentary line is going to be, "What profits a host who becomes a pro but loses his show along the way?" And it's like, yes, it's a good idea. Trust me, if this promo works the way it works in my head, it's going to be good. Yeah, I think I should probably move on. The best car of 2014.
I have to say, you may have to take the reins on this, because I'm not very well car-orientated, I have to say.
I may have to. I'm not going to bother telling anybody about the stats. I mean, these 3 cars that I've got lined up for this award are the only 3 cars which could have been lined up for this award, in all honesty, because these 3 cars have been well documented now in all mainstream, like, car review channels everywhere. So, I mean, you guys are probably all very, 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 very familiar with these cars, if you know anything about cars. And these cars are the Mclaren P1, the hybrid supercar, the 900, I believe, and 918 brake horsepower Mclaren, the replacement for the F1. By God, what a doozy of a car that is. Then you have the Porsche 918, Porsche's rival to the Mclaren P1, a car which actually, on its release, was quoted as accelerating faster than a Veyron, which nobody thought would happen when people reviewed the Veyron. So, again, this car is a near enough 850, near as makes no difference, brake horsepower hypercar, which, if you put it in the correct operating mode, can return 80 miles per gallon, which takes my little 1.4 Renault Clio and almost trebles its economy rating. My car feels incredibly inadequate in absolutely every regard. And finally, to make the trifecta, the Ferrari LaFerrari, the V12 hybrid hypercar from Ferrari, which is, it's like picking a winner out of these. I'm going to do it right now. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a fish, fast tank, his wheels there, go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's the Mclaren P1. Way! Well done, McLaren. You won the Host Pro Award for the greatest car of 2014.
Congratulations.
And you won it on. I mean, separating those cars, though, in all honesty, it's how do you do it? I don't know how I would do it really, because they're all 3 move performance cars. Such a huge step forward in terms of grip, performance, comfort, power as well, power and drivability, because they have hybrid motors. This is for anybody who likes cars now. I'm turning on the car geek side of me. Because they're all hybrids, what that means is you can use the electric motor to create instant torque coming out of a corner. Like before, if you had like a turbocharged car, because these all have turbocharged petrol engines as well. I'm not sure if the LaFerrari does actually, now that I think about it, but I know the P1 and the 918 do use turbocharged V8s. The turbo lag would mean you'd have your foot hard down, you'd get decent acceleration, and then all of a sudden it would be like you lit a rocket behind you, and it's like, poof, and it's like you almost die with fright, because all of a sudden the acceleration is just immense. With the electric motors, you can create the feel of a direct injection engine without actually having a direct injection engine. So you get all the performance benefits of having that turbo, which can really help with power, and you don't get the lag, which means you get the drivability of the direct injection with the power of the turbo with the economy of an electric engine. It's in that hypercar. I mean, like I said, it's a Porsche which takes my Renault Clio and makes it look like a chump economy-wise. That's just cool.
It's pretty astronomical, really, isn't it? How far they've actually come with that.
I mean, these cars are made out of technology, out of materials that didn't exist 9 years ago. I mean, the McLaren P1. I mean, I said something about comfort, which is, you think about hypercars of the 90s. You think about your Ferrari F40, which is basically a go-kart with a V8, turbocharged for V8. No, it's not a V8. I don't think. Actually, I can't remember now. And you've got the cars like the McLaren F1, and these cars are like dinosaurs to drive. They're heavy clutches, they're bad suspension, you can barely see out of them, and then you get the McLaren P1, which, in case people don't know, it has no physical link between the suspension and the rest of the chassis. So it's basically like a cushion of air, and it's ridiculously comfortable, and that's not something you would ever think to describe a supercar in the past, but now you have cars like McLaren P1, and it's making supercar driving a comfortable perspective, a comfortable thing. It's like, wow.
That is pretty impressive how they've done it.
Yeah, it really is.
The hybrid engines and everything. I mean, that is it basically was. I'd like to say they're all winners, but for the purposes of this, you had to pick one.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
judging by your fantastic selection as well, I think you picked a very worthy winner.
I think as well, the other thing you want to consider about all three of these cars, McLaren P1, Porsche 918, Porsche LaFerrari, they are the holy trinity of performance cars at the moment, I think. And let me put it this way: all three of these cars are Priuses. They're hybrid. What they've done is they've gone and made the technology from the Toyota Prius, one of the most uncool cars in the world, if not the most uncool car in the world, and actually made it cool. And that's very special. Of course, I mean, the Ferrari LaFerrari is so good, it's actually called the Ferrari. That's what that means. It's called the Ferrari. It's like, that's the one.
The ultimate one.
Yeah, so, I mean, all three of those cars are immense. If ever I win Euro Millions, or get enough subscribers and make that much money, trust me, you're going to see a review of all three of those. Trust me, long-term road tests on all three of those. We're going to drive to London in McLaren P1 to watch Monday Night Raw.
And we'll be comfortable doing it as well. And we'll save a shitload of money on petrol. So
yeah, we'll save more money on petrol than we do in my Renault. We'll be more comfortable than we are in my Renault. And it will be quieter than my Renault.
And it will also turn quite a few heads.
It will turn quite a few heads, unlike my Renault. And it will also go a shitload faster than my Renault.
I feel sorry for your Renault. Your Renault's not a bad car, really.
It's not, but it's, yeah. I do like my Renault, actually. I'm actually just saying like my Renault just to be funny, because it drives the point home. I think we should move on now, because I've talked about the cars too much. I do have that's a side actually I haven't unleashed too much around you before, Marcus, is my inner car nerd.
Oh, no, I did know you were a car nerd.
I haven't really indulged it that much over the recent years. My actual car knowledge around 2009 was just astronomical. I tried to become a motoring journalist. It was that good. So, anyway, Wrestler of the Year 2014. Now this is a tough one.
This is going to be difficult. Yes.
The first nomination is Daniel Bryan for being absent for nearly the whole year and still being as over as he was when he left. And still being more over than anybody. He was absent and was still more over than everybody else in that company combined. Then you have Bray Wyatt having just so much potential. Not being utilised very well this year, Bray Wyatt, to be fair. So his impact has been minimalised. I don't think he could have made less. Just any kind of booking, he would have made more of an impact than that. But he still has the mic skills, he still has the in-ring skills, and he still has a fantastic look and a really cool entrance and the best wrestling music of his day. Then we have Kevin Owens.
Oh no. This is too hard already.
Because Kevin Owens is fucking awesome. Kevin Owens is going to be the future of that company. Mark my words. You thought The Undertaker was agile for a big man? Kevin Owens' agility makes The Undertaker look like a plank of wood. No disrespect to The Undertaker, but Kevin Owens is next level agility. That said, I don't think he'll ever match to the gravitas of The Undertaker.
No, but...
The Undertaker is just special. The Undertaker is a combination. There's like 4 categories I think you need to be considered great. Good in-ring skills, good promo skills. You also need to have presence, which is your look and your entrance and stuff like that, and your gimmick. And then you also need to have a legacy. The Undertaker marks like a solid 20 out of 10 in every category.
With ease, without even... He didn't even need to take a test, really.
Yeah, I shouldn't have really said what I said about... That's really is something that Kevin Owens can do, and he does... He takes your previous preconception of what a big man should be able to do, blows it out of the water. And
he makes it look fucking easy as well.
He does, yeah. And he is... so, nomination number 4 is Sami Zayn. Because Sami Zayn is another one of those amazing performances. Oh, I missed a nomination out here, which I forgot to write down, but I'll include it on the end. Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn is... He's going to be special. I think he's going to be... if they keep the gimmick he's got in NXT going in the main roster, I can envisage him becoming as over as Daniel Bryan, and I can imagine a whole arena, 70,000 strong at WrestleMania, all going, ole, 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 you know, the chant. I mean, that is going to be epic if that happens. The next nomination is Sting for finally making his long-awaited and much-deserved debut in the WWE. He's been languishing in TNA for too long now. That company's just not big enough for a guy like Sting. I don't think... Maybe it was in 2006, but he stayed there too long. It was time to go to WWE and appear on the big stage that he deserved to be on. And he's finally there, and he deserves the main event at Mania whenever he gets it.
He deserves everything that he's got coming.
And the next nomination is Brock Lesnar! Raw! For ending the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. He is the one who makes the number 21 the smallest number. He also has the manager who is the one behind the one in 21 and 1. Brock Lesnar also kicked the living shit out of John Cena, and I enjoyed watching that immensely. 16 German suplexes and won the title in a... That's the first time I've ever enjoyed... Who'd have thought that you could have a squash match for the World Heavyweight Championship and it'd be good? You know, but Brock Lesnar pulled that off. And then the triple threat at Royal Rumble, which was actually amazing. The man had a broken rib, and he F5'd the shit out of Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar has had a hell of a year.
He is the real deal.
Very legit. The next nomination is Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose has promo ability. Dean Ambrose can do almost whatever he wants. It will be entertaining. So Dean Ambrose is a nomination for this list. Has to be. Just has to be. When Dean Ambrose does something, you just find it amazingly funny. I can't think of any other wrestler who could decide to go to Coney Island and make that funny. But Dean Ambrose did it. My next nomination is Seth Rollins for being the next Shawn Michaels. And like I say, I do not heap that praise on somebody lightly. Seth Rollins has everything. He has good enough mic skills to sell you on the mic and keep you hooked. He's also very good at improvising the crowd, although to be honest, it's basically the same improvisation all the time. But it's knowing when to do it. That's the interesting point. And knowing when to kill it off. Yes, timing is everything. He's also immense in the ring. He's one of the few people that sells nearly as good as Dolph Ziggler, but he has so many other moves. He is so flashy. The Phoenix Splash, the curb stomp is a legit brilliant move because it looks like it could really hurt you. A man's boot in the back of your neck driving your face into that would hurt in real life. And that's why the curb stomp is a good move. And he also has a look. He looks like Solid Snake. He does. If I wanted a live-action Metal Gear Solid movie, cut his long hair off, make it a flat top, you've got Solid Snake. And my final nomination is Adrian Neville, because he can do the Red Arrow, and that move is fucking awesome. So there you go, who wins?
There This is ridiculous. I don't think I can actually pick a winner.
I kept thinking of too many nominations.
That's the thing. There's so many that you could have chosen from as well.
Yeah. I've probably missed out a shitload of people I should have put on that list as well, by the way.
But the thing is, I mean, that's the trouble with being so predictable. It's because I know who you want to pick, and you know who I want to pick, and that's what makes it difficult.
So we both want the same person then?
No, because I know who your pick is going to be.
You think I want Bray Wyatt to win, don't you?
Yes.
I don't. I want Kevin Owens to win.
So do I. There we go. That was simple.
Kevin Owens! And
that was easy enough.
Should we say why? Because, like I say, Kevin Owens...
There's just so many reasons. It's just... God, where do you even start?
I don't really know how to explain it. There's just something with Kevin Owens. He's got presence. He doesn't look... You look at the man, and he does things he shouldn't be able to do.
And he does it, like I said, he does it so effortlessly, and he makes it look so professional, and the way he does things, and it's just... You know, it's hard to know when to do a start point and how to like sum it up in a nutshell, basically. But it's just he's just everything. I mean, he's got mic skills, he's got ring presence, he's got talent, he's got ability, he's got agility, he's got strength, he's got speed, he's got technical wrestling moves, he's got a way of interacting with the crowd. He's got the look, you know, an unconventional yet conventional look as well.
And you can look at that guy, and you can look at that guy and see he's a tough guy. You look at him and you think he looks like a guy who would kick your ass.
Definitely. And I mean, he's got such a varied moveset as well. I mean, you know, Dean Malenko was the man of 1,000 moves. I think Kevin Owens could be the man of 999 moves. You know, he's got so much.
No. I will not let you say that. I'll not let you say that at all. How dare you make Dean Malenko look that good? Kevin Owens is the man of 2,001 moves.
Oh, come on. Dean Malenko was good.
Okay, yeah, he was good. But, I mean, come on. Kevin Owens is...
Well, no, I mean, compared to... I mean, the difference with it is because Dean Malenko was more of a technical mat wrestler, which Kevin Owens is. But Owens does things that are just so impressive for somebody of his size and his stature. The way he can just fly around a ring. I mean, he can combine a gorilla press slam on someone bigger than him and then all of a sudden come off the top rope with a 450. I mean, nobody since Brock Lesnar has been able to do that, which is why it's interesting Brock was in the list, because that did make me think the only reason Brock didn't get higher up on the list is because obviously he's a part-time wrestler, which is, you know, no discredit, but I just don't think he deserves it because he's not in there every single night.
I mean, if Brock Lesnar was there every single night, for the simple fact, if Brock Lesnar was there every single night, he is the current talisman. He's the man who has that ball and he's running with it if he's in there every night. And he would beat Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens, he's been on ROH and he's helped to lift ROH's profile this year. And now he's with the WWE, and he is... If I would put any money on it, I would say Kevin Owens is probably one of the most anticipated debuts NXT's had in quite some time. Definitely. And that's not anything that WWE did right either, by the way, because I don't think his hype promos were that great. Because if you think about it, Finn Balor's were much better. Oh shit! Yes. I forgot to nominate Finn Balor and Hideo Itami. Shit! Sorry. So the other nominations are Finn Balor for being sodding amazing. He is also that entrance on Takeover Our Evolution.
Yes.
And my other nomination is Hideo Itami, because do I need to say, have you seen his kicks? Have you seen his kicks? If you get kicked like that, it will hurt. You'll be like, shit, that hurt.
They are legitimately quite painful.
They are, yeah, I'll tell you what, there's actually a pretty good a documentary about Finn Balor before he became Finn Balor, but he's still Prince Devitt in Japan. Yeah. And there's this really awesome restaurant scene. Have you heard about this one?
No.
There's a thing in Japan where the fans have an incredible respect for the wrestlers, and they would invite them to eat. And this owner of this restaurant invited them all out to eat at his restaurant, and a couple of the people recognized him because they're from the show, and it's actually Luke Gallows is in this part as well. and it's also Finn Balor as Prince Devitt at the time he was hosting the documentary. And the fans want to know what it's like. So, what move do you pull out to give a fan a taste of what it feels like to wrestle?
Well, based on our experiences, I'm assuming it's a chop.
It's a chop, yeah. They get Japanese fans, hold their arms behind their back and chop them. And fuck me. Our chops hurt. But that must feel like you're having your whole chest split in half. That chop literally hits like this. It is, ow, that's not loud enough, that's not hard enough. It's harder than that. I'm telling you, it really, honestly, if Balor chops you, you are going to be rolling around in agony.
Yes, I mean we've done chops and things like that, and yeah, they hurt.
We don't have a patch on those chops from Balor. Well, I think that they might be the hardest chops I've ever seen in my life.
With the exception of Chris Benoit, Chris Benoit.
Yeah, but well, I suppose actually Benoit's chops sounded quieter than they were because it was the ring. So yeah,
yes. Definitely.
But I would tell you, these chops are fucking legit.
It's like Big Show's chops as well. I mean, they're not really chops, it's more the slap. But you remember from Raw when he did the first one?
Oh, that sounded like a gun had just gone off.
Yeah, that was really bad. No wonder Titus was hobbling by the end of it. But yes, Kevin Owens, he does have to win because I think essentially, like you said, he's the most anticipated debut. He's worked his ass off to get where he is. He's given everything he has to the business to get better and, become this character that he is. And just his following from ROH, appraisal by Stone Cold, William Regal, Triple H, The Rock. I mean, how can you not turn down that kind of appraisal from guys like that?
Yeah.
I know you're smiling.
I can't recreate it. I did it actually pretty well in UPW actually, but I think as well it might help people take this. It might be here's a spoonful of sugar to help this go down if this is a bitter pill with you. Daniel Bryan, the reason why I think both of us will agree on this, why he didn't win, is because he has been out all year. If Daniel Bryan hadn't been injured, he might and had managed to hold on to his world championship. Then Daniel Bryan probably would have won this list because he is over. Now this, and Marcus is surprised I didn't say Bray Wyatt, but the reason why I didn't say Bray Wyatt, not because I don't think he's better than Kevin Owens necessarily, but it's because he has been grossly misused.
Yes. And
the booking around Bray Wyatt has been pretty terrible. I mean, the mistake started when he lost to Cena at WrestleMania 30. Yeah. If you want to launch your next top guy, don't have him lose to Cena when he is the most over guy. And then that storyline went on a bit too long. Then when Jericho first returned, he didn't put him over initially. So Bray Wyatt's momentum and impact on the business has been hurt. So I was like, well, I can't realistically say Bray Wyatt. Sami Zayn, that was a tough one not to do, but for the simple fact that he is an incredible in-ring performer, but it sounds weird to say this, but the stuff that he can do, I think Kevin Owens can do as well. Maybe not quite as well, but he can do it to a... And Kevin Owens can do more than Sami Zayn.
I don't know. I think Owens could do it as well as. And I mean, the thing is, because he's such a big guy, it looks more impressive as well if you see a guy that size.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the very point. And plus, Sami Zayn, I think, don't worry, time to win this year. His time to win that award will come.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, Sting hasn't yet wrestled a match with the WWE yet. He has made his debut, and it's still Sting in WWE, but he hasn't wrestled this match yet. So we're not.
In fact, the Crow theme as well isn't present, which really pissed you off.
Present, exactly.
I don't mind the theme. Like I said, the theme's not bad, but it's not the Crow.
Yeah, it's just not good enough, is it? No. Brock Lesnar, again, we've already discussed that, and that was fair enough. Dean Ambrose, again, I feel like he's been neglected by WWE. He's another one who probably could have won it this year, like Bray Wyatt, but his booking hasn't been very good. First of all, they try and bury him with a curb stomp through the cinder blocks.
Yeah.
He comes back and he gets entertaining, and then he loses again. This time a screw job for Bray Wyatt involved. And then he loses the ambulance match, which, by the way, I was very happy about because it's about time somebody put Bray Wyatt over. Again, his booking he's been the most neglected guy out of the former Shield members.
Yeah.
So that's why he couldn't win it.
And he also
Seth Rollins,
he stole the Sandman gimmick. And I'm sorry, Ambrose, I'm the only one that can steal the Sandman gimmick.
He did. And Seth Rollins, that one was tough not to deny.
Yes, definitely. He has done so much, and he's done it in such a way that, just like with the authority thing, he's getting over so much as a heel. Mr. Money in the Bank.
That's why I didn't. That's why I thought not to give it to him yet.
Yeah.
Because he's got all the potential, and he's getting there, and he will be the top guy for that company at some point in the future.
But just not quite yet.
Not quite there yet. He hasn't got quite the heat on him yet. And you can say, well, Owens has only just debuted. He hasn't got any heat, but
it's different.
His impact in ROH, he was bigger than Cena in WWE in ROH, so he kind of does. And for a guy to come off the indie scene and have that much heat is very impressive. I mean, he's already in the main event with Sami Zayn.
And he's
wrestled a title match.
And he's only wrestled 2 matches. Yeah, exactly. That's just a testament to how good he actually is.
Yeah, exactly. He's already after 2 matches being entrusted to carry the now actually after Takeover Our Revolution, a highly respected NXT brand, and they've given the match with Kevin. They've given Kevin Owens the ring with Sami Zayn to carry their special for the title. That's how good Kevin Owens is, and trust me, watch that. It's going to be amazing. What's that? It's February the
11th, I think it is.
11th, yeah. So yeah. I am very much looking forward to that. It's going to be amazing.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm working, so I'll have to watch it the next day. But yes, I will be looking forward to that.
I think we've talked enough about wrestling. There are no more wrestling composite. Well, there is actually a ZPW coming up. Yeah, but the next nomination, and I think Marcus is going to see where this is going as well. The YouTuber of the Year.
Okay.
You can see where this is going.
Yeah, kind of.
The first nomination is Mr. Sark, because Mr. Sark consistently makes me laugh. If I could take myself and be any other YouTuber on this planet, it would be Mr. Sark, because he manages to make so many things entertaining. His editing skills are incredible, and that man has a sense of humor that is off the scale. In a large way, his sense of humor is very similar to my own. If you watch his sense of humor, it will just be the random things that he does and the random comments that he makes, and you will see where I get a lot of that from. No, I don't, and I'm not going to say I owe my sense of humor to Mr. Sark. I don't, because I had that sense of humor ever since I've been born. But you know, Mr. Sark is. I saw Dave.
Yeah, he's disappearing back into his room.
Back to Skyrim. I thought, yeah. So Mr. Sark is an incredible YouTuber, and he just makes me laugh so much. My next nomination is top of the morning to you, Malays. It's Jacksepticeye. I fucked that up badly, but high fives all round. Whoosh, whoosh. Trust me, Jacksepticeye has an energy which you cannot contain.
It's so wacky, isn't it? It's so expressive as well.
Yeah, and his Oculus Rift videos are bloody amazing, and I love his Kerbal Space Program videos. I must admit, I watched them all back to back for 5 hours. Wasn't bored for a second of it. Trust me. Jacksepticeye, he's like an Irish PewDiePie. He's not a rip-off of PewDiePie. People have accused him of that, but he's not. But he takes that whole gaming as to be entertaining rather than good art form and does it better than PewDiePie. Yeah. PewDiePie got huge off that, so that's why I say Jacksepticeye is on for this nomination. Next up is a guy who none of you would have heard of, Chris Harris. Because Chris Harris started the year off working for Drive, the YouTube channel, doing Chris Harris on cars, and now I've been subscribed to this guy for years. I have been reading Chris Harris ever since I first started reading magazines. It was Oh Christ, I can't remember. It must have been. It was on Autocar, and I was reading his articles. And then there's this DVD they came up with, and he did a run in a Bugatti Veyron. He drove at, I think it was 232 miles an hour. Don't quote me on that. On a public road, it was on autobahn at night. And his review, he is amazing. He makes car review. I mean, if you think of Jeremy Clarkson, forget Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson's goofy. This Chris Harris manages to be funny without being stupid. He makes car reviews so entertaining and so informative and so. He's taken this man. If his channel, Chris Harris on Cars, gets enough exposure, he will monopolize the car review market by himself. He is that good. Trust me. His car reviews entertain me more than an hour of Top Gear. I seriously mean that.
That's
and he's now an independent. He is an independent car reviewer now, and his channel deserves so much more exposure than it does. In fact, everybody who watches Top Gear should go and watch Chris Harris. And then he still won't have the level of exposure he deserves. He is that good. The next nominee is me, because I've nominated myself last year, and I feel like I have done something with my YouTube channel which I have managed to introduce concepts to an audience which would never have previously considered accepting these concepts. And that is very special and deserves recognition, I think. And the next nomination is you, Marcus! It's you! You're the next nomination, because you you actually do need a lot more exposure than you have, actually. Because your videos are good as well, because you've actually done something I haven't done, and that's make a video on 7 Days to Die, showing off the brilliance of that game, which is good. You made the Death Shake.
Yes.
That's one of the. That's just. I mean, it's all shot with a camera, but it's a very interesting idea. And trust me, people, if you watch that video, you're gonna make one, and you owe that to Marcus.
It is tasty. I will say, I will actually make you one next time you come round, and it's basically the reason it's called a Death Shake is because, well, essentially after you do it, you just kind of sit still for like 20 minutes. You can't really move, so you're kind of in a death state, and it's basically just calories, sugar, and fat. But by God, is it tasty! I assure you, it is tasty.
And of course, there are a couple of hidden gems from quite a long time ago, I think, as well. You uploaded it roughly around the time that I started in the company, and it's I Can Relate. Your video about the idiocy of the general public.
Yes.
God, that made me laugh.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, the reason I like that one as well is because it's so relevant, isn't it? Anybody that's worked in that sort of situation can watch that and go, yeah, I totally understand that.
I think anybody who has any experience dealing with the general public will get that.
Yeah, I really do need to take that back up. I need to take that back up. I was going to do a part 2, but I need to get onto that. Anyway, so who's the next nomination?
It's a very, very, very well edited video, actually.
I did do, yeah. I shot that on an old DVR camera with like the tape whirring and stuff. I dig my camera out and I just filmed it, and I was like, this is so crap, it's actually quite good.
It was very funny. It was very, very funny. I mean, yeah, I think... And plus you have Bad News Tara. That was funny.
Truck riding shitbag.
Truck riding shitbag, yeah! Trust me, guys, if you... And it's something that I don't do on my YouTube channel because I haven't found that many people who I think I can... First of all, the people who I think you would enjoy as well as me, if you like me, are all bigger than me anyway. They're guys like Mr. Sark, Jacksepticeye, and that lot. There was one other channel I endorsed. It was Sir Reasoner, and yes, and his channel was, and they did what was it? Oh Jesus, I forgot the name of the podcast now. It's been a year.
I'm trying to think.
It was one that my brother actually helped set up with Reasoner and Oakland.
I can't remember what it was.
One Hitler, that was it. I guested on that podcast a couple of times, and my God, they have the same sense of humor as me, and they're that's the only other time I've seen a channel that I think is really, really good that deserves exposure to a larger audience, and I could provide that for them. But Marcus is another one, because Marcus really, like I say, you've got the birthplace of UPW on there. You've got the 7 Days to Die. You've got the I Can Relate. You've got Vad News Tara. When Marcus makes a video, his sense of humor is ridiculously dry. Not quite as random as mine, I don't think, but trust me, when Marcus goes for it, he's really good at it. And I do believe Marcus does deserve more exposure for his channel.
I do. I'm glad to hear you say that, because, like I say, it's just. I mean, I originally started just for as a bit of fun. I mean, my original creation was Terrorvision, which I made when I was 16, and we were just taking the piss. I mean, the videos on there are so terrible, but they just hold great memories. And then I sort of tried to do the gaming thing, and that didn't really take off. So I tried making some parody videos. That didn't really take off. And then I was like, okay, I need to branch into gaming and stuff. But then it's kind of like what you were saying. When you see your channel and you think, okay, it's not really growing, it's not really doing anything, I'm just going to leave it. And that's basically what you do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't do, because the reason why I did YouTube is because I loved making videos. It wasn't really about growth or money. It still isn't. That's just an added bonus for me at the moment. My content isn't about money or what I think is going to necessarily blow up, because if it was, I'd just be Train Simulator all the time, because they're consistently one of my most popular videos. But they're not. I make videos that I enjoy making, because I believe that if I enjoy making it, then the content will be better, because I care more about it.
Yeah, and it's a way, like you said, you like entertaining people. So if you can offer them different content, that's just an added peak in the cap, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this whole podcast that we're doing right now, this isn't about money. This is about having a laugh, and hopefully people will enjoy listening to us ramble, hopefully coherently, for, well, how long has it been now? Must be 2.5 hours getting on for? Nope, 3 hours. And it doesn't feel like that long for us, and that's because we're having a good time doing this podcast. That's why I think you come back to it, because you tried it that one time. Pretty soon after, it was a long time after I met you, your computer was in a completely different part of the room, and had a laugh. We had a laugh, and it was, and
just from there, then like you said to me, it's like the highest rated podcast I've got. I was like, really? And you were like, yeah. I was okay, why don't we do another one then? And then we did another one that was a bit short, and then we did another longer one. And then I tried to relaunch the podcast again 8 months ago, and then again things got in the way, and you were on the relaunch of that one as well. Yeah, and I mean, it's just things like that. And I mean, it's like I come on the podcast because I enjoy it. I mean, it's funny. It's just, I mean, some people might not find this funny. They might just log on and think, who the fuck are these two guys? But at the same time, it's just talking about things that are funny, funny to us, and hopefully other people
things
will
that
find
we
it funny.
care about. Yeah, it's because, I mean, if you watch either one of our YouTube channels, you will get a part of what we're like outside. If you were to meet us in the street and get to talk to us, you get a part of what that would be like, of what we're like. Because I'm not gonna like, my channel is 100% my personality. The tennis Rodar thing. The idea of just trying a trick shot and then failing at it miserably. That was
funny. It is funny.
I must admit, it wasn't actually meant to be a trick shot. I did intentionally just try and send that ball as far as possible. It was intentionally Fus Rodar. And that was just my sense of humor. And that's a part of it. But when we do Host Pro and UPW, you feed off each other and you just draw more of it out. This is a much more complete experience of what we're like in real life.
Though I would give it a piece of advice. I mean, you know me well enough to know when you said about approaching us in the street, probably not a good idea.
Don't do that because you might die.
Yeah, don't approach me. Approach Glenn because he's much more sociable than me. If you approach me, you're not really going to have a very satisfying experience. It's the kind of thing of never meet your heroes. So
although I would think if somebody were to approach you saying that they were a fan of your YouTube channel, you would probably give them the time of day.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you would appreciate it as well.
It's just the way it is. I mean, it's like, it's hard to explain without delving into the details of where we work and what we do. But to keep it sort of general is just, I'm not really a very sociable person. It's not that I don't have any socializing skills. It's just I'm not really a fan of people, and you will understand why that is because you have experience as well.
And trust me, I'm not the greatest fan of people. I'm not a fan of people after working where I work. I'm not a fan of people either.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing personal. I'm not saying everybody.
I am a fan of a select few people. There are a select few people that I am a fan of, and I can get along with.
Yeah, it's more like, it's like I said, it's not everybody. You can't really tar everybody with the same brush. It's just when you do it through experience, you kind of think, yeah, okay, people are assholes. So, but no, I mean, if somebody was to genuinely approach me and generally want to talk to me, then obviously, I'd be more than happy to talk to them. But
if you're just in your YouTube channel, that's the select few, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, like I say, if you're a dick to me, I'm going to be a bigger dick to you. If you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that time in Halloween when we were all out in Joker, Bane, and Two-Face. The reason why we were open to people coming up and taking pictures is because that was a compliment on our costumes, and it's like, yeah thanks, dude. We put effort into this. Yeah,
and it just proved that we were actually making a statement, and people were thinking, wow, you guys look really good, and it's like, well, we do appreciate that because we put time and effort into this. So getting all that attention and everything was really nice. It got kind of annoying towards the end of the night, but I mean,
when we just wanted to look for my glasses.
Yeah, when you looked at your glasses, and then we were just like, we're tired, we just want to go back to the hotel. And people were like, oh, let's get a selfie with Bane and Joker. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, okay.
It's like I'll just fuck off. If one more person asks me for a selfie, I blow up the nightclub. That's what it was.
I was tempted to do a Bane backbreaker on so many people, but that's by the by.
Yeah. But so I guess at this point we should probably decide the winner of YouTuber of the Year.
Yes.
So here it comes. I was one who created Host Pro, so I guess you're going to think you're the winner.
Nope.
And I think I'm the winner.
Yeah, you would probably think that. I don't think I deserve to win, mainly because, like I said, I've been lazy with it. But your nominees are good nominees, and I think you've already won an award, so I don't think you can really win this one. I mean,
I'm gonna say I think in terms of just pure quality and pure entertainment value, I deserve it. But like I say, I'm not a selfish prick. So Chris Harris wins the award.
I agree with that. Chris Harris definitely, very closely followed by Jacksepticeye. Very closely followed.
Yeah, believe me, it's Jacksepticeye and Mr. Sark are on a level. I think those two I equally enjoy, but Chris Harris, if you don't like cars, you can watch Chris Harris and you'll find out why driving is awesome. He is an incredibly talented driver. He can drift anything. He can drive incredibly fast and do clean lap times. Just Chris Harris. The content he produces as an independent is just as good as the content he produced with the budget of a magazine behind him as well. So it's got to be him.
And very underrated as well. Very underrated for what he does.
Oh yeah. And next award is the UPW Moment of the Year.
Oh jeez, I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, there are a lot of them.
There are quite a few.
So, I really have tried to be quite selective, and I failed miserably to be selective. So the nominees are, this isn't working! When I was in the middle of a scoop slam, I thought I was going to have my neck broken, but Marcus guided me through that thing, and the laugh is one of a lot of relief. The next nomination is, I Know You Want It. I know you want it. Sweet chin music out of nowhere.
I knew that was coming. I just had a feeling that moment was coming because it's just like it's so good that moment. It was like the first time we've done improv as well, and it's just out of nowhere, and it just worked. It was like bang, and we're like, okay.
It was the first spot in UPW's history, really, because it was just all of a sudden we're doing a Bo Dallas impression, all of a sudden we're dancing, doing the bad ball thing, and then all of a sudden I just started to super kick you.
It was just so perfectly placed and timed that it was just like, that was a cool moment. That was the first one we watched back and we were like, yeah, this is cool.
And plus the super kick was genuinely good.
It was brilliant. That Sweet Chin was on the ball.
Yeah, and the music just worked so well with it. The next moment is the Triple Abigail from the UPW train wreck episode, because that was the first time that we had all three angles and we'd edit it into a coherent replay with the Triple Abigail bang, bang, bang from three different angles. All three looked good, and that move was executed very, very, very well with a very good sell. And I think that's probably the best Abigail we did.
Add to the fact I took it on a steel freaking chair.
Yeah, exactly. And it made that. It's just. And then the next nomination is no, bang, chair.
That is one of my favourite moments. That bit, just the crack the chair makes, because it's just so random. I was just there, like I'm trying to. The backstory to this is like I was trying to get my YouTube to work, and I was having a bit of wonky internet, and I was like, oh, this really isn't working. And you were just there with the chair walking around, and I just kind of went, oh, for fuck's sake, the song's not playing. You just walked up and went, no, whack, and I just went down like a sack of
yeah, that was it, wasn't it? You're just literally there going, oh, you're like, oh god, this internet isn't working. And I just went, no, it's like tragic.
Boom,
like the chair.
Straight across the head, and it was so perfectly placed because it was like on the crown of the head, which is where it's supposed to be hit as well. And I just go down like a sack.
And then we followed it up with a massive elbow. Well, not really an elbow drop. It's more of a botched elbow drop. But my god, the noise when I came off the top rope and hit with that chair.
Oh, is that the one when I go, oh?
Yeah.
That one sucked. That really hurt.
Yeah. And then the next, that's what with me. We actually generally do get not seriously hurt, but it hurts.
But it does hurt. It is legit. Trust me. If you think it isn't legit, come down here and we'll give you a chop.
Oh yeah, trust me. We're open to do that as well. We will chop any fan of ours all day.
If you seriously want to get involved with it, come on down. We've got addresses. We've got everything set up, ready to go.
Why not? And then my next nomination. This is another moment you're like, bang! Oh, yes!
Yes, the chair shot.
Yes, the Sabu chair shot. Bang! And I just crumple on the floor after that point.
The noise and the bend in the tray it made, I just threw it and it just made such a noise. I was like, oh, that is cool.
It's not necessarily that one actually didn't even hurt, but the way I crumple on the floor looks like I got knocked out as well.
And the sound of just that crack as it hits you, it's just such a satisfying crack. It's brilliant.
And the reaction of, oh, yes, was brilliant as well. I loved that one. And then going back to the next nomination is from the original UPW video. It's the face pedigree.
Oh, yes.
That's brilliant.
The best pedigree cell in history. It was amazing, that pedigree. We've tried to recreate it, and it just cannot be recreated at all.
No, we're just too scared to recreate it. You just dive on your face.
It was just a total face plant.
It's like you're trying to do a belly flop into a swimming pool mixed with a dive, and you just try. It's just brilliant.
It's just with the cardboard as well. It just went bang like that, and I just flop on the. Oh, it was brilliant. That was one of the funniest moments.
Yeah, the next nomination is the first outtake I've nominated for this one. And it is the hello, Nathan. Hello. What? Oh, no. Whack him with the chair. And the story with that is he'd been gone for 3 days or something like that, wasn't he? He didn't know I was there. And that we've been doing UPW. And then all of a sudden we know he's coming back. And it's like, oh, wait, who's here? Hide behind the wall and just whack him with a steel chair.
And his reaction was just priceless. And that was basically his induction into it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. And then of course, the next time he was actually in the Winter Soldier video. And
he was the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he was the Winter Soldier. That was quite a funny moment. And then the next one, you're going to love this. The perforated lung choke slam.
Oh,
the thing was, that choke slam, you got height on that thing.
The thing is, if you rewatch that, I watched it the other night because I sent the link to Emma just to watch it. And you watch it as well, you actually hold me in the air for like 1.5 seconds or so, like nearly 2 seconds. I'm actually in suspended animation before you slam me down, which is why I ended up with the...
Yes. And then just my reaction after that as well, sold it perfectly. Oh, shit. I actually thought you were hurt.
I was hurt, that's the thing, it really did hurt.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, like, seriously, badly injured hurt. Yes. Like you wanted to call Nash but couldn't.
Yes, that was a very painful one, but it was so funny. It's just brilliant. You guys really should check all this out. And
trust me, it's quite funny hearing it from our perspective, talking about it as well. Because I don't think we've ever actually done a video where we actually talk about the stories behind what happened.
Yeah,
all you ever get to see is the edit of it happening. Really.
Yeah.
This is another good thing about Host Pro is you can get an insight into what we're thinking more than when you actually just watch a video. You could watch a video of me doing Fusrodar, but you wouldn't know the story behind it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And the thing with making YouTube videos is every single YouTube video there is an interesting story behind it as to why it happened and everything.
And this is good because then we get a chance to describe why it happened, how it happened, and why it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and why it means so much to us that it gets over, as I say, because when you hear the stories like this, you understand why we appreciate the support so much. It means a lot to have it supported when so much goes into it. So the next move was the neutralizer.
Yes, that is a good moment. That's a moment.
That's because it was so unexpected. It was just like there for a moment, and you're like, oh wait a minute, and I'm just there like I felt the blow, and I'm just like, are we still going to do the move or not?
I just couldn't continue. It was just.
No, you could. And then of course you let go, and I'm just like, and then I can finally like, right, embrace the pain. It's like that happened.
I think the whole thing that makes that thing better is just the noise when it connects. When you just hear
it sounds like they popped.
Yes, it felt like they popped as well, but I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah, I know.
That is a very good.
You guys can watch that for yourself and understand why we're hesitant to talk about this situation. It's a moment in UPW we'd rather forget, despite the fact I put it up in YouTube forum. The reason why I put it up there on YouTube is actually specifically wanted to put it on YouTube, I should say. It's because it's because of Jer. What? Because Jer obviously, I think this is around the time that he was constantly going on about you being gay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just went to Jer. I was like, he is gay. He went and folded my testicles, and it's on video.
He's like, Jer was like, okay, he wanted to see it.
I was like, he wants to see this. I was like, yeah, which says something about Jer, isn't it? He wants to see one man fondle another's testicles.
Yeah, and he calls me gay.
Yeah, well, me and Jer, I've taken our relationship and gotten very gay with it recently.
I didn't notice that.
He constantly tells me how nice I smell, and I mean, he is a sexy man.
But I said that today as well. I said that you do smell good.
I remember that. Yes, he did.
No homo, but it's true.
I can show you what it is. It's done it. Actually, no, you can't really see it from here, but it's Jupe Homme.
Ah, yeah. See, I've never had that. But yes,
because I worked so hard down there, I ended up sweating profusely, and I don't want to put customers off.
Oh wait! Whoa! Backtrack.
Actually, you know what? I kind of do.
No, you don't. You don't want to talk about it. Remember? Shh.
Yeah, but that doesn't really.
Oh no, it doesn't give too
much. That doesn't reveal too much. That's just a customer could be anything.
That is true. Yeah.
I mean, a customer could just be a client. Is technically a customer, so that still leaves the nature of our work stupidly wide open. Technically, wrestling fans are customers. We are customers of WWE. So, customer is just a broad term.
That is true. Okay, I'll give you that. What's the next nomination besides the ball smash?
Yes, that's a good point. It's the original high octane outtake. It's the 5-star knee break.
Oh yes, that was a good one.
Good God Almighty! It's everything that needs to be said about that happens in the clip. I mean, we're going to do this move. I think Marcus is going to roll out of the way, and we've done a 5-star avoidance spot earlier in the day, and it's edited that way as well in the video. The video shows it happening first, and it did happen first. Because when we did that video, you started to roll, and then I took off. But on this one, I think maybe because we're getting a bit braver with timing, but I wasn't expecting it to happen. So I was expecting when I start to go down, Marcus starts to roll.
Yeah. And
then when I take off, you're almost already out of the way. But that didn't happen. Marcus cut this one a bit finer. So I was taking off. I was like, oh shit, he hasn't moved. I'm like, ah! And then I basically looked like I've fallen out of the building, knee cracks on the floor with no knee pad, and then I'm basically rolling on the floor laughing in a lot of agony.
Oh, that crack it made was so satisfying. Just the way, the only gap in that mattress, and you managed to hit it squarely on the point of your knee.
Yeah.
If you had been 3 inches to the left, right, up, or down,
I would have been fine.
You would have been totally fine. But just that crack, and then just the oh
my! I can recreate that. Oh my God, that hurt! And it's just a laugh.
And I was
Oh,
just sat there and I was like, wow, that must have sucked.
And you're just like, do you seriously think I'm just gonna lie there whilst I'm just explaining this? I can't stop. I'm just laughing like hell.
Oh, that is a classic.
The next one involves the Winter Soldier, and it's hit me,
Yeah.
bang, take him out.
That right hand was something else.
That was a beautiful one, and plus, if you go through that frame by frame in Vegas, my hand sort of disappears behind his head, and then sort of comes back around. It looks even more real when you slow it down. It's amazing.
It does it. That angle as well. Just because he said, just hit me. So you go, okay, whack, and he just goes down solid as well. He sold that.
Doing it. I was trying to explain what we were going to do. I think we were about to do a scoop slam.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and we're trying to explain. Yeah, this is how he's going. Hit me. And I'm like, hit me, bang. It's like shut up.
And to his credit, he did sell that very well. He
sold that perfectly. Yeah, Nathan is a lot better at. I think that's why Riptus was up for seeing more Nath on UPW, because Nath actually took to that like a duck to water. And
he is very natural at it. He sells better than like I can, and I mean I've been doing it so much longer, and he done it once, and he sells better than me. It's like this is disappointing, but incredibly impressive as well.
Yeah, it's a good change to the dynamic, because we're two very similar in stature blokes, and then you get Nathan there, and it changes the dynamic.
It makes everything a lot easier and a lot more devastating as well.
Yeah, I would have said that monster video wouldn't have felt quite so much like people having a good time without Nate's clips in there. It made that monster video fresher. And that was a very good video. I like that one, which I didn't nominate that because it's not really a moment. It's just a video.
Yeah, it's a montage. But although you guys should definitely check that out. If we'll put the link in the description.
If you want to get a good, I mean, there are two videos. If you don't want to watch any particular UPW, but you want like a best of what it has to offer, it's either you want to watch Monster or the Greatest Hits of 2014, because those two videos really do just sum it all up perfectly.
They are collabs of everything that we've done, and they are brilliant. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it is brilliant. It's so funny.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's
just so funny. It's just so funny watching us two try and do it. And in some cases, actually doing a pretty damn good job in places.
Considering what we have to work with, yes, I think actually we do quite a good job.
Yeah. So the next moment is Dawn! Bang! The meat hook.
Yeah.
Right here on you. That one was just stupid, because I just decided to run at you and try and knock you over.
And you did.
I did. I genuinely knocked you over. And the funny thing about that cell is you rebound backwards off me faster than I come in at you. And that's partially your cell and partially because I just hit you that hard.
You really did knock me down. I was like, okay, he's going to go right back. Jesus Christ. And by the time I could do it,
right back. He went hurty.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't hurty. I didn't think it would hurt you, but I was like, I'm just going to put more shoulder into this just to make sure my body weight takes you over.
Yeah, that one hurt, but it did look very good. It looked so good on the video.
Yeah, it did. It really did, actually, and it made an impressive noise. And it made for a really good ride-back moment in the what was it? And I did it again to Rich in Trainwreck, and I put on the montage, and it ends with that meat hook, and it's like brilliant. Yeah. The next moment, you'll like this one, is Jesus, turn around, spit.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's the. That's just my face. We saw that.
That's your first sort of real step at like editing in sounds as well, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, it's my first real time. I mean, I practiced on a couple of older videos, like zoom ins and all this type of thing. Like you see a bit of it on Train Simulator, but it'd been a long time since I did it. So to be able to get that to work so quite seamlessly as well was quite nice.
It was a good spot, that one.
And my face as well in the spear just sold that.
Jesus.
I think, and my last nomination, because I had to stop nominating stuff. I mean, I could have nominated everything in UPW because I think it's all brilliant, but I nominated the Baking Slam, which is bring the one down. The choke slam onto baking trays. That was
very hurty.
It was quite hurty. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would, but it was definitely a lot more solid than it was before.
It was the sound as well, just when you crunch and you hit 3 bacon trays.
And it's
when
just a
you
good
land
choke
on
slam
it.
because at the replay angle, I disappear from camera shot and then I just appear falling onto the baking trays, and it's got and Jericho's music's going on in the background. Break the wall down, bang.
It's just the noise as well, because you just kind of go, ah! It's like genuine pain. So the thing is, I thought you were going to throw in a couple more. The couple of moments I would have added was, you know, the Luthez gay moment, and then you counter with that right hand. Yeah, the right hand. Ooh, what a right hand. That was a good right hand. And the other one would have been the German suplexes as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
that would have been the other one that I tried, that I would have put in there. I was going to say power bombs, but that was from this year, so we can't really count.
Yeah, that will be in the next HPA.
That'll be in the 2015 one. So yeah, they were the other two I would have had, but I mean that's a hell of a list to choose from.
Oh, I forgot the building full choke slam. That would have been.
Oh yeah, that one as well. Yeah, the where I get dropped out of like a 3-story. It looks like I fell out of a jet, basically.
Yeah, I could have. I suppose if I really wanted to, because I didn't nominate any sweet chins. Actually, I probably could have nominated the one from Spearfest, because that was the story behind that episode was our spears in the first 2 UPWs were crap. Yeah, and they were so bad that we weren't even like, oh, it's unprofessional wrestling. We weren't even like that. They were that bad that we were just like, no, they're just terrible. We weren't happy with them, really. So we just spent the whole thing working on them. But we went from, it was at night, we were both shattered, had been at work, I think, earlier in the day. So, but we decided to do some other stuff other than spears, because we're like, well, I can't read the whole video of spears.
Yeah.
And so we went for another 2 recording sessions before we were completely gassed.
Yeah,
and then
there was the death drop as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was the only other moves.
The flapjack.
Yeah, the only other moves. Yeah, it was literally just the flapjack, the move, the actual move.
Haven't nominated the move.
But in fairness, the vast majority of that session was really bad,
yeah.
and with the exception of a couple of spears and the move, it was gonna be a crap episode. And then all of a sudden, I just walk around and pull the sweet chin out of the bag, and it looks like I clobbered you right here.
Yeah.
And my foot was just literally there, and your cell was so good as well. I mean, there are better sweet chins, but that was the most critical sweet chin. That was a sweet chin that saved a video from being mostly god awful.
Yeah, that was basically, that would have been, like, if you go back to Rumble, that would have been the equivalent of CM Punk coming out that moment, that sweet chin, because it just saved it, it turned it around. But the other sweet chin was the one, you know, with the clothesline setup, when I come in and I go, like that, and then that one on the
oh, yes, Doomsday, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that was...
I think it was Doomsday.
No, it wasn't Doomsday, it was WrestleFest, no.
No, it wasn't WrestleFest, WrestleFest was the second one, I think.
Was it Super Slam? It was when...
it might have been Super Slam.
Yeah, it was the one. It was the one before Winter Soldier. Yeah, I think it was Super Slam, wasn't it?
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Well, I had like the blue. It's when I shaved my head as well. You know, when I had the blue T-shirt on and you had the white T-shirt on.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was WrestleFest.
No, it was Super Slam, I think.
Oh yeah, Super Slam. That's the one. Yeah, that one when I come running in to close on you and you duck and then you just hit me with a sweet chin.
Was it for? Oh, that was the. Yeah, it was a replay angle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The one?
Yeah.
I think this is the. I think I've got the spot up. No, that was a hip toss there. That's the hip toss. Snapmare. Abigail. I'm kind of going through it just to see if I can find it. Maybe we could play a moment in the stream.
Yeah, it's quite near. It's quite near. I think it's before the promo. A little bit before the promo.
It's not in. Here's the replay. Is that the? Oh, that's a baking tray choke slam.
Yeah, that's the video that it was on.
Yeah.
And then I go to nail you with the clothesline.
After that point.
Yeah, I go to hit you with the clothesline and you just sweet hit me out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it's in part 2 of this somewhere. There's the spine busters. They're crap. Yeah. Here comes the big punch.
I think it's a little bit further on from that.
Uppercut. And then you go for the chair shots. I hit that massive chair shot. And here it comes. There it is. Yeah, that's the one. Like, you know what? Let's see if I can do this. Let's do screen share.
Yeah, see if it comes up on the thing.
Yeah, I think I can. I only really want to do this because I want to try this feature out. Oh, we've got a new subscriber. New subscriber. You've clicked on the right moment. We're testing out Hangouts here. So I think it's screen share.
Hello, new subscriber.
And then if I go to this, share that. Yes.
Here we go.
Yes, I can see that now. Okay, so if I go full screen as well,
yeah,
we've got it on HD.
And then there's
Let's unmute this.
You'll see what I mean by the switching. It's just perfect.
Yeah, here it comes. Clothesline, duck. Oh! Right on the chin. And all from one angle. And, oh yeah, this chokeslam as well. That one was a high one, but I didn't bump it very well either. I landed that one so stiff.
Do you think maybe you should just show the?
Oh yeah, that's in the outtakes in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right.
On the bacon tray chokeslam, since we talked about that, because there it is. This is the bacon tray chokeslam. You hear this?
Okay, wait for it.
Oh! That's brilliant.
That one sucks so bad.
Where's that one? That's there, isn't it? Is that there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's after that one.
Oh,
yeah, that's the Zack Ryder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I botched it that time because I thought
that should have been a nominated moment actually. Oh Jesus!
You can just see I didn't even get close to you. I just sort of bounced off of you.
Wait a minute, is it coming up? Oh no, yeah, it's after this I think.
Oh, that's ow. Yeah, that's it coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. This is the perforated line. You see what I mean? Like you hold me in the air for like a second. Ready? You see what I mean? You hold me in the air for like a second and a half.
Oh, that is brilliant. It really is. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're now going. We're reminiscing. Right, I'll take this thing on screen share. Oh no, the viewer left.
Oh.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Well, that's okay.
So yeah, that's basically the moments we have. That's a very tough list to choose from.
So just to recap, this isn't working. I know you want it. Bang, bang, bang. Triple Abigail. No. Oh yes. The face pedigree. Hello, Nathan. The neutralizer. Bang. Oh! I thought you were gonna move. Hit me. Hit me. Dawn. Bang. Jesus. And the baking choke slam are the ones I nominated.
That's 14. We're gonna have to at least cut it down to at least 3.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get. So I think the ones that we tend to talk about a lot are the ones that we go back to. Are this isn't working.
That one, yeah. Yeah, that one.
That one.
Probably the knee smash. The knee smash.
And then it's the knee smash, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, that's a tough out of the 3 of them.
That's a tough one.
This isn't working. It's just so nostalgic because it's the first time we tried it. So, and
it's just that moment of sheer panic. And the thing is, when I say this isn't working, well, that nomination is the one I did on you as well afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's all one moment. That is the moment we tried to do scoop slams, which was the most technical move we'd done at that point.
Yeah. And it was our first ever attempt as well.
Yeah, and it's just that is a moment in history that we started to get ambitious with what we were doing. The moment we started to show a slight bit of ambition, and my God, did it fail? Well, what I did to you was a complete fail.
Yeah, you forgot to nominate that one. And
well, that's what I mean. In this isn't working. That's the whole moment.
Yeah. That includes as well, though, because then that includes the segment for the outtakes, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a bit more like it.
Yeah, because that's it. That's it. That's been the bit that's. We kind of have to choose that, don't we?
Yeah, that has to be it. That has to be it. So it's out of 4 now.
In that moment, in that moment of UPW, it encapsulated everything it means to be unprofessional wrestling because it's got somebody panicking midway through the scoop slam. This isn't working, and it actually working. Then it's got me completely screwing up the lift and just only lifting up one leg up and over your head before then just dropping you. You kicked me in the head on the way down as well, and then you just went, yeah, that's a bit more like it, even though it's completely terrible. And
that's when you broke down and started laughing.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't think you understand quite how bad that went, Marcus.
I didn't know until I watched it, and then I watched it, and I was like, wow, yeah, that is bad, okay.
That isn't even a scoop slam. That's a guide. That is an assisted handstand.
This is a tough choice. We've got four choices.
Well, I would say that this isn't working. It encapsulates all those 4 moments in one glorious segment.
There is that. Yeah, this isn't working. But then again, that chokeslam though.
It was yeah. I mean that chokeslam was very very funny, and the knee smash. So it's either this isn't working with the scoop slams from the original. It's the perforated lung or the breaking of my knee.
The knee break. This is a tough choice.
The
thing is, whatever we pick at the end of the video, you have to make sure you play just that clip as well. Well, you could play the 3 nominees and then the winners as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just link it to that sort of thing, and you'd be about. This is a tough choice.
Yeah, I'll have to link it. Link all 3 moments.
This is a really, really difficult choice. If anybody's watched this, you'll see why it's difficult choices because they are all just so funny.
But it's because when you consider that we're just trying to wrestle, and just the epic scope of failure in these moments just encapsulates what it's like to be with us. This is just a kind of because it encapsulates. UPW doesn't really capture the randomness of UPW when we're filming it.
Yeah.
But these moments are just a little insights into just the type of crap that we do. Really.
Just for entertainment value as well. That's the main thing. This is a really tough choice out of 3 of them.
See,
this is difficult.
I think that This Isn't Working has the biggest legacy because it was just the original outtake, and it was the birthplace of the quote, "This isn't working." That's a bit more like it, which is the outtake.
Yeah.
Quote. It's the lasting legacy of that clip.
You combined in like 15 seconds of footage. That is the legacy.
Yeah, those 2 scoop stands together. I should show people that actually. You know what? I'm going to go back into screen. I'm going to find the video and I'm going to go back into screen share. I'm going to show you that moment because that is just the moment that summed up UPW. If you can sum up UPW in 15 seconds of footage, this is how you do it, right?
I think it's because, like you said, it was the birth of it as well, wasn't it? It was the first time we'd ever tried it, so
it's when I watched that clip that I got the idea for unprofessional wrestling being the name. So here we go. I found the moment. Let's go back on the screen share and just show this one off because
this is basically what it was. This was the birth of UPW.
Yeah. Okay, so start sharing, and here we go. This is basically why UPW got its name, and as you can see, look, we haven't even got the hang of framing it thing yet, because we haven't got our heads in the whole thing.
Yep.
Just everything about this just sums up UPW. This is our first attempt trying to do any kind of move. So here we go. This is you trying to pick me up. Panic. Oh, that is such relief. That moment.
But then the better one's coming up, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. That was a bad scoop slam.
But then this just takes the fucking biscuit.
That's a bit more like it.
You just dropped me straight on my head.
And then it's just, and then the 5-star fail. That's the one where I actually went jelly armed for a while. And I thought, well, I watched this one back, actually, because this is a good story. You see, it is... See, something didn't add up at the time, because we went for a curry after this, didn't we?
Yes.
And you can't actually see, I can't actually point this out with my arm, because with my hand, because it's doing... I've got a bar in front of me. But my right arm there, that's my left arm, sorry. I thought this is how I did it, because on the frog splash, that arm is tucked under me, and I crush it full weight with a 5-star frog splash. I thought that's why the arm was hurting, but actually it wasn't, because my right arm was the one that felt like jelly. And if you look at my right arm, it is bent elbow-wise, full flex muscle, compressed and jammed back, and that made the whole thing go weak.
Yeah, that's basically what fucked up your arm, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that. Just a compression of my fully tensed arm that really did it. But I mean, it's just that this moment in that scoop slam. I mean, it's thanks to this though that we managed to work out why it went wrong, though, didn't we? Because we worked out what was happening was in your scoop slam, you were holding me on my shoulder. Me, when you look at me when I've got your... Look where my hand is at. I'm pushing your head down. I'm trying to flip you before I've even got you in the air. And then it ends up you have to put your hand down there to support, and I'll drop you on your head, and then you say that. It's like, no, and I'm just like, at that point, I'm like, no, it isn't. I'm like, just, it isn't.
I think
it has to be that, doesn't it, really? I mean, that is just UPW in 2 moves. What is UPW? It's that. That's, I mean, if you request a move from us...
It has to be that moment. Sorry, you froze them for a second, but it's okay, you're back.
Yeah, I know, I froze as I came out of screen share.
Yeah, I think it has to be that one, because that just encapsulates what it's all about, basically.
Yeah. I like this new feature. I actually quite like using the screen share feature. That's quite cool.
It's good, because on the next ones we can actually interact with people for a change.
I think if I hit showcase, I want to try this as well, actually, because if I hit showcase, add an item from a website, I think if I do this, copy and paste, so I can paste the whole link into...
Yes, and then just send the whole thing in there.
And then, yeah, if I hit enter, that should send the video through. Welcome to the highly skilled world of unprofessional. Only true suicidal maniacs would do this if they have a spare mattress. Yeah. And then if I hit show item, I think in theory that will now appear in the stream. I don't know. I don't know if the stream can see that or not.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not entirely sure. It's a bit sketchy as to how that's supposed to work, I think. But yeah, it's got to be that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So well done. This isn't working. You win.
Yes.
This is our personal award to hand out to our favourite moment of our own show. That's the one that did it.
Yeah. And
there is one more award. There is one more award we must do, because I thought of a couple of awards that I could do to bring this one back. So, announcement of the year.
Oh, okay.
The nominees are Metal Gear Solid 5, the trailer. Wow. Standing on the edge of the crater. Oh.
So many feels.
Oh, what an announcement. That was brilliant. Like the prophets once said. Oh, brilliant. Next announcement is Jurassic World. The park is open. And they went and made a whole new dinosaur? Probably not a good idea.
No.
As they're going to find out, it's not going to be a good idea, I think. I have a funny feeling that created dinosaur might ruin the park.
Really? I never would have thought that.
No, I mean... It just doesn't seem like a worthwhile movie if everything just goes right.
This is kind of Royal Rumble syndrome all over again.
Yeah, see, now this is the thing. I do have a thing to say about Jurassic World, and then the next announcement, the Age of Ultron trailer, because Avengers, probably the biggest superhero movie, in fact, if not the biggest single superhero movie, when it was released in 2008, got people... That's what put Marvel so... I hate to use the word over all the time because people who don't watch wrestling won't understand it, but that's what made Marvel so popular that they could release Guardians of the Galaxy and it was going to be a success. That film, because Guardians of the Galaxy is a team-up film. The Avengers was the team-up film which launched Marvel, and people went to watch Guardians because it was a team-up film, I think.
Yeah.
So, Age of Ultron, this is a sequel to the Avengers, the one you've been waiting for so much.
Yeah.
So, that's a difficult list.
I think Jurassic World is basically out of that. Sorry, it has to be out of that.
Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, it's not very... In comparison to the other two, it's not very good.
It's the winner's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it? I was going to say Age of Ultron is good.
We've been waiting longer for Metal Gear Solid 5 than a new Marvel movie.
We've basically been waiting nigh on 2 years for Metal Gear Solid 5 since the first teasers came out, and it's way over long, and it needs to be released very, very soon, or I'm going to get very angry.
I have a feeling as well, Age of Ultron, I don't know why, but I think Marvel's got to slip up at some point. There's got to be a time where it's not going to hit the spot.
Yeah.
And Age of Ultron, I
it's-
don't think it's going to be as good as Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, not by a long shot. I don't think it's going to be as good. It's going to be very overhyped, and it's just going to end up being anticlimactic.
I think it'll be good,
Oh,
but
no,
just
it'll be
not
good.
as good.
No.
And Jurassic World, I have worries about that film. If I'm gonna talk about it like a wrestling match, but you know me. If booked correctly, Jurassic World can be excellent, and it could very well be excellent. However, there are provisions. There are provisions that need to be met before that film can work well. First of all, it cannot fall into Godzilla or the Five Armies problem of killing off the hype character before it's gone, before it's even started. You cannot do that. Do not give us the main event, match 1. Don't do that. Because, and by the way, that main event would be, we know the T-Rex is in the movie because it's been released on hype channels. That T-Rex is in the movie. It's on their website. And we know they've created a new hybrid dinosaur, almost as big as T-Rex. There's another big carnivore, and it's a hybrid dinosaur called Indominus Rex, which has abilities and stuff. And it looks like a freaking awesome dinosaur. Now, what's the obvious thing that's going to happen? T-Rex versus I-Rex, right? That's going to happen. It's got to happen. It's like Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. It has to happen.
It's going to happen. And look what happened with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar.
This is what I mean. That's not the thing I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is that they give you that fight half an hour into the movie, T-Rex dies, and then what they need to do is do it like you build a pay-per-view in wrestling. You have I-Rex creating a trail of destruction on one side. It's like the Shield versus the Wyatt family is how this has to be booked. You've got two mega carnivores creating a path of destruction, and then finally they meet. And then what you have to have is, I think, because it'd be too. They made this mistake with Jurassic Park 3. T-Rex has to win, I think. T-Rex has to pull it back because, let's be honest, you've got T-Rex, the Tyrant Lizard, versus Indominus Rex, which has camouflage abilities. It's bigger than T-Rex, it's faster than T-Rex, and it has the ability, like a snake, to open its jaws super wide so it can bite stuff way, way bigger than its own head. That is the favourite to win. On paper, that one is going to win every time. That dinosaur is Man United. T-Rex, in this instance, is Truro City. It's Man United versus Truro City, and if you want people to enjoy that film and walk away happy, T-Rex has to win. T-Rex has to find a way to beat the odds against
the underdog. The underdog has to come out on top. It's like Rex versus Ray. Ray should have won that fight. Metal Gear Ray should have won that fight, but you want Rex to win because Rex is cooler.
Yes, exactly. Because the T-Rex is T-Rex. You think of dinosaurs. What dinosaur you think of? T-Rex. T-Rex is the most famous dinosaur in the world. T-Rex has to win. It's the iconic dinosaur of Jurassic Park. It just has to win.
If it doesn't win, I think a lot of people are going to leave very disappointed.
Yeah, it's going to be... Well, I'm trying to think. You can't really compare it to wrestling, really. It'd be like...
Well, you kind of can. It's basically Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. You know who should win.
That's the point.
You know who should win and who would win, but the underdog always comes out on top.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the one that... But I do have my concerns that they're going to fall into the same trap as Godzilla, kill off T-Rex, and then you're going to lose a major part of the hype for that movie, and it's going to all be on Chris Pratt to stop Indominus Rex with his Raptor Pack 6 team. Because did you see that shot? He's because raptors. I think the way they're going to sell this to you is raptors are intelligent animals and they can respond to stimuli and certain suggestions. And I think they're going to have not tamed raptors, but trained raptors in the same way that you can train a killer whale. Because those killer whales aren't tame. look at what happened in SeaWorld. One of the trainers ripped one of the whales ripped the trainer to shreds. So obviously the Velociraptors, I think, will be like that. I think it'll be that kind of a dynamic.
Yeah, you can't tame a Velociraptor.
No. And there's no point in trying to sell that. Even in a movie, you can't tame a Velociraptor. Just no.
You could possibly force it to do what you want it to, but only for a certain time.
Yeah, you can sort of train it, but not tame it.
Yeah. You could train it to do things, but it would always turn around and bite the hand that feeds it, because that's the way they are. Pack animals.
Basically. And I think they'd have to sell it in a movie like that, really. Otherwise, it just won't work.
Yeah.
There's tame Velociraptors. Yay! Great.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good idea. I hope they don't go down that route.
I don't think they will. I mean, I'm going to. I am looking forward to Jurassic World, though. It has a lot of potential.
I'm not overly hyped for it, but it's one I wouldn't mind going to see. At the same time, though, Metal Gear Solid has won the final award.
It has won. Metal Gear Solid 5. Did it win something else? No, it didn't, did it? No. No,
yes.
It's...
most anticipated game, didn't it?
There was something it won.
Yeah, it won. No, we just discussed it. We discussed it. We didn't do it.
Oh, no, yeah, we discussed it. That was it, yeah. It wasn't actually...
Yeah, it didn't win an award, but yes, Metal Gear Solid 5 definitely wins.
I have run out of topics. My topics from my day at work have been
from the topic list. Well, that's good. It took a long time. It took a long time to get through, but because there's so much content to talk about.
And then again, that's because that's like what happens with us, though. Because although we've known each other for such a short amount of time, really, I mean, we have so many things we can talk about as well. We already have quite a fair few stories to tell.
And especially with UPW and YouTube as well, because now we have more to talk about and explain more of why it's so funny or why it's so good or why it's so bad.
Yeah, I kind of like that Host Pro as being a bit of like a behind-the-scenes type of thing.
Exactly.
It's like a general discussion.
It's like we were saying, if we do ever leave our place of work, you want to watch the podcast because we're going to be telling a lot of funny and interesting and informative stories.
Yeah, and the other thing I like about Host Pro is it's a forum for you to talk about things which you otherwise wouldn't have done. Like on your channel, you wouldn't normally, I don't think, talk about movies and such, but movies are quite popular things, so you can talk about them, and it's fun to sort of discuss things like that and talk in detail with no set time in it, because you're allowed to broadcast for 8 hours. I think after 8 hours it shuts off. Yeah,
but still, I mean, and it's nice to talk about like any restrictions as well. Just basically just say what you want.
Yeah, say what you want.
There's no script. There's no, we got a general idea of what we talk about, and then you just go for it and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think in terms of like how the show gets structured, it still manages to stay somewhat coherent. It's just you have two people who are good friends discussing things, and of course, in the end, it's not a script. You can't script a show like this. You can't. But it's two people who are good friends, have had quite a lot of very funny experiences, and of course, whilst we're talking about one thing, something is bound to pop into our heads.
Yeah, that's generally how we managed to get off track, but we always managed to pull it back, though. Yeah,
you always managed. We were like, wait, what were we talking about? But we always remember where we were.
Yeah, we always managed to go back to it, so it's good. That's why it always comes full circle.
Yeah, and it's always good, I think, because you get to see us as we are.
In a different kind of light, and than what you're used to seeing, which is nice. Which is a good way to interact with the fans, which is what it's all about.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any questions or any... I didn't see any interaction on the stream tonight, but then again, I wasn't expecting this. And of course, I still got my promo to shoot. I'm going to visit my dad tomorrow, but on Thursday and Friday, I'm hoping to film a load of footage, and on Friday night, I'm going to hopefully start throwing that together.
I think that'd be good. You can do like a relaunch trailer, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be like a trailer. It's going to... I've got stuff like I'm going to take a few shots from the Bray Wyatt promo, and I'm going to start having me do random quotes, just like like when Bray Wyatt in the promo he goes like, "What am I? I am everything. And dirt grass beneath your toes. And he's like starts talking about that on the air that surrounds you, and that type of thing. I'm gonna start going. What is Host Pro? It's talking about movies. It's talking about wrestling. It's talking about games. It's a podcast. Nothing's real. Nothing's real until it's been on the Host Pro. It's all a figment of your minds, your imaginations. But this is real. It's like stuff like that.
I think that'd be good because you need to rehype it and keep it. This is the first one as well that you've done in ages.
Yeah.
So it's
And
probably
obviously
not going to be.
It's gonna have the it is gonna have the Bray Wyatt music as well, which is gonna sell it.
Yeah.
And
I kind of had a feeling you were going to do that.
Random close-up shots of my garden and grass just going by really fast, and me spinning around in my chair laughing, just like. And plus the start of that, and plus the start of the idea of the relaunch being, being what profits a host who becomes a pro but loses his show along the way. It's just the perfect adaptation. I thought of that literally, like at work. I was just bored. I was like, my mind started wandering onto host pro because we discussed about doing this last night when I was going to get my cam. And I was like at work. I was like, well, I'm bored. So what can I do? Oh, okay, I could launch Host Pro, or I could do a Bray Wyatt promo because I could say what profits a host who becomes a pro loses a show along the way. Because that's literally everything. I am the host. The show is called Host Pro, ties in, and the show was lost. So, and it's the adaptation of Bray Wyatt's thing, and I like that idea.
I had a funny feeling you were going to go down that road.
Yeah, I know, but if you think about
you're
it,
a big mark.
I am a big mark, but if you think about it, those hype promos for Bray Wyatt were awesome. They were awesome.
Yeah, there was much. Yeah, because I mean, I didn't really watch that many of them, but yeah, it was something different. It was something new, wasn't it? And it's always fresh. So. Oh,
they really sold me on Bray Wyatt. His the character sort of portrayed in the promos is slightly different to what we got on TV in the end. Yeah. Because in those promos, he really is. It's got an incredible power about it. There's a power there, and behind the creepiness. And you really do sense that actually this guy is creepy, but also somebody you would probably end up following, because he's talking random bollocks about society being stupid. He's like going. I love that quote. He just goes, "We live in a world where society has poisoned the souls of men, but they can't do anything about it because they're just in the ordinary working class. You see people like me whispering lies into their ears, but I got a secret of my own." It's like, whoa, okay, this guy is a wrestler who is trying to be a world leader. That's awesome.
Yeah, he is good. I do.
And the music as well. It's all hypnotic, and you get the flashing images. I think it's probably the best put together hype promo for a debut I think I've seen.
Yeah. No, it was really good. The way they did it and everything, it was spot on. Hopefully they just keep running with it, hopefully.
Yeah, I think if they book Wyatt correctly and sort of let him, when they turn him face, I reckon he'll end up doing that gimmick, the sort of the cult leader gimmick, because in some ways I think Bray Wyatt, because he did it in NXT when he left, because he left NXT as a face, doing a face promo basically, and that sold me on the idea that Bray Wyatt could pull off a gimmick like that, a cult leader gimmick, but as a face. And I was like, that is going to be huge if he does that. And if the WWE lets him do that, if they reunite the Wyatt family against, say, the Authority or somebody like that, and then do that gimmick, that will be. You'll understand why I mark out over Bray Wyatt all the time. Which, by the way, I crunched some numbers on my iTunes page, because obviously on iTunes it tells you how many times you've played the song.
Yeah.
And that's from beginning to end. It only counts if it's from beginning to end. And I've calculated that I've listened to Bray Wyatt's theme song more times than any other song. That
doesn't.
I know, right? I've got I've got the album version that they released on iTunes and an instrumental version. Both of those I've listened to over 100 times. Yeah, alright, okay, that's a lot. And then I've got a version I edited from the album version, which plays when he wins a song, because it cuts to dun dun and just cuts straight to dan 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 dan. Listen to that about 57 times. And then I've got the live version for WrestleMania 30, which I've listened to 80 times. So in total, from start to finish, I've listened to Bray Wyatt's theme song about 350 times.
That's pretty ridiculous.
And I'm still not bored of it. It's amazing. Well, mind you, do you want to know what the second most viewed listened to song on my iTunes is?
Unsettling Differences.
Steampunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one, because that one's been on there for longer, but that one I've listened. It's not far behind because I've got the Tove edit version that's on something like 100. It is the most number one track individually. Like none of the versions of Bray Wyatt actually matched that one version of Steampunk. So I think I've listened to that one something like 200. I don't know. I'd say 200. Oh shit! My iTunes is glitching. It will tell me if I go on top to me if I press played. Where is it? Yeah, 229 times for the WWE edit of CM Punk's Living Colour theme. But I've got 5 other versions of it that I haven't listened to as much, so it doesn't quite equal as much as Bray Wyatt's theme.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Are we going to wrap up this host, bro?
I think we probably should.
Should do. It's been about 4.5 hours now, isn't it? What time are we on?
Must be. I don't know. Let's take a look. 10 minutes off 4 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Which, considering how shattered we are, I'm amazed we managed to keep up the energy that we have.
Yeah, that's the only reason I really need to call it a night, because I've got work at 5 o'clock.
Again, oh.
Yeah, which sucks. But needs must when the devil drives.
Yes, yes, yes.
But anyway, do you want to do an outro?
Don't really have one prepared, other than if you are still with us, or if you skip through to this point, either or, it's fine. You know, you can do. Yeah, just as long as you've got to this point, that's cool. That's commitment. And like I say, we thank you for watching, all 615 subscribers. I mean, that is really pretty awesome. There'll be links to Marcus's channel because, like I say, I recommend you check that out because it is very similar to mine in ways. And yeah, we thank you for watching the relaunch of Host Pro. This is Host Pro 2.0.
Absolutely.
So thank you very, very much for watching. If you did like it, I'm going to borrow the Jacksepticeye thing. If you like this video, remember to punch that like button in the face like a boss! Or perhaps I should say perhaps I should do it differently. Punch that like button in the face like a UBW superstar! And high fives around. Whoosh, whoosh, Jacksepticeye. I love that.
See you later, people. Have a good one. Bye.